Goodbye, hot girl summer. Hello to the giant Bombcast, episode 705. That's right, folks. It's about to be cozy, polite boy season. That's right. That's right. Instead of heating up everything, we're going to politely warm stuff up and then just get cozy. Speaking about cozy, I'm your host for today's episode, Jan Ochoa, but I'm not the only cozy boy in the house right now. We got Jeff Bacalar.
Oh, I'm real cozy.
Yeah.
You know it.
Yeah.
Snuggle up with my cozy blankets at night. The best.
I feel like you have a really nice weighted blanket. Are you a weighted blanket guy?
No. I like it. I like a down heavy comforter all year round is what I will take.
Okay.
What ABV?
Not a weighted. I'm not a weighted blanket. What's that?
What ABV do you go with on the down?
You fucking asshole. That's what I go with. You fucking asshole. Percent.
And that was the beautiful voice of Danny O'Dwyer. Danny, what kind of pillows you use?
Oh man, I'm real bad with pillows. I need one like not chunky pillow, like a relatively flat pillow. We had to buy new pillows when we got our new bed. Well, I guess I didn't have to, but I did, and I kind of got one that's like it's like bigger than I like, but it sinks me in more. And I don't know if that's good for me or not. That I'm like not moving as much in bed. I'm not sure if that's good or bad.
Okay.
I want more pillow people to be conspiracy theorists.
The one really vocal one isn't enough.
No, I think everyone behind a pillow empire should have some thoughts on things that they feel the need to start a social network around or something. Like the Wamsutta Dream Zone guy is just like, no man, the reptilians, or which I guess is actually the same conspiracy theory as the other guy. But
have we checked in on the Lisa people? Maybe they're like secretly.
How's that?
I was going to ask about the Snuggie folks. Like, what's the Snuggie team up to?
Oh.
Speaking about Snuggie, he's taking a temporary break from his paternity leave. Jeff Gersman.
Hi, thank you. It's been great. I did the thing. It happened a little bit earlier than I think everyone thought, but
that happens sometimes.
I'm happy that it did. Yeah, no, I installed Windows 11 and I'm having a great time with it so far. So it's
waking you up in the middle of the night and Windows 11.
A lot of poop coming out of Windows 11.
Yeah, sure.
Right.
Does it feel like does it feel like the same thing's happening again, or is it like, oh, this one's totally different?
Oh, well, I mean, the icons are in the center instead of off to the left.
Okay.
So it feels like a little bit different, but other than that,
toolbar on the right, like a weirdo.
Yeah, it seems exactly the same in a lot of ways. That so having it's
Tell me all about having a baby.
All right, this guy was a lot easier in a lot of ways than our first. Our daughter came a little early and had to be induced because there was some scary stuff that went down near the end. This guy has just been like chill in that sense, and like took him to his first doctor's appointment, and they were just like, just keep doing what you're doing, it's fine.
Yeah. He's like throwing out like, hey.
Yeah,
hey.
yeah.
He's just wearing a leather vest.
Basically, yeah.
Like, thanks, Doc.
Smoking, it's weird. It's,
all right.
Tunnel snakes.
It's got a toothpick. Doesn't even have teeth yet.
Yeah. But the thing they don't tell you is that your existing child doesn't like relax or cool out or let you get anything done. So now it's like there's a 2-year-old that is like super smart and experiencing the world in exciting new ways every single day. And you're getting 2 hours of sleep a night, and you're like, this is up. And so that has actually been the big change. Has been like, okay, now it's like Diner Dash. It's like whatever, like any kind of game that is any kind of like keeping plates spinning. And it is like, okay, you are crying because you pooped. Okay, I'm changing you. Oh, this one. Oh, this. Okay, all right. This is okay. wife is recovering upstairs. I'm going to run a drink up there for her, and I'm going to run back down here. It's been a lot of stuff like that, but it's been relatively. I mean, I wouldn't, like I just came back to do the show because it's been relatively smooth. Though, of course,
Nice.
when I told you guys that yesterday, and I was like, past couple nights been pretty good sleep-wise, I knew at the time I was setting up some kind of nightmarish jinx-like situation where last night I would get almost no sleep. So
Fantastic. Yeah. Well, speaking about crying, I feel like I am moved to tears. Hit the Mac Morrison music because it's Return of the Pack. Ben Pack, baby!
Once again.
Return of the Pack.
So this is what you meant by hit the music?
Yeah, this is what we didn't have music.
Okay,
We didn't have. We can't play music. We can't play music.
You and I talked about this. You said you were going to get the rights.
Mac Morrison is really, really tough on the rights of his
Did you tell him it was for the
He's been in
Bombcast?
prison, man. He's selling that for nothing.
Yeah.
Yes,
Jeff Bakalar, you have a question?
I'll go ahead and cede the rest of my introduction time to Jeff Bakalar. Go ahead, Jeff.
What is all this?
What do you mean?
What?
Like
What?
what
Mark
was all that?
Morrison is
Bombcast.
a singer who sang a song "Return of the Mac."
Mark Morrison.
Return of
Okay.
the Mac.
I was waiting because good, polite, comfy. I can't remember. I already can't. Polite, cozy guy fall.
Meet
Is that what
cute,
it is?
I think is what it's called.
Meet cute, cozy guy fall. Polite guys wait till they're introduced to talk on a podcast. And so I'm here now, and now I'm not going to shut the fuck up.
Damn it!
No, it's
Like
great
a vampire,
to be back.
the podcast vampire is in the building.
You
The
invited
vampire
him
is
in.
back in town. You invited me on your podcast, and so I can come. It's great to see everyone. It's great to see that in my absence, things have just stayed the same with the Bombcast. It's the same all crew. Jeff's here. Jan's here.
Yep.
There's
We got Danny.
There's Jeff is like mirrored. There's two Jeffs or something, and then of course All American Brad. And it's the whole crew.
Hey, Ben.
Jason's on vacation, like he's on assignment this week. That's fine. That
Hey Ben,
happens
you want to play
sometimes.
some Dota? You want to play some Dota?
Don't say that to me. Ti is coming up in a week and a half.
Yeah, Ben Pack, you told Jason to go on vacation because you're going to be on the next couple Bombcasts, and you just thought, I'm just going to call the shots. But Ben,
Well, I came because, as Danny put it last week, you guys needed a torso for the Voltron of Giant Bomb. So I'm here to be that body.
Ben,
One
how have you
sizable, lengthy one.
Ben,
Yeah,
how have you
exactly.
been? How have you been?
I've been all right. I've been chilling, out doing my thing. Yeah, man. Playing some games a little bit here and then. Took a big long break from playing anything, which was nice, and allowed me to kind of like tackle what I wanted to and revisit some stuff that slipped me by in the past. But yeah, it's going.
I'm sorry, you
I'm
said
doing a lot of house stuff.
you said you've been playing what?
Video games.
It's crazy.
It's video games.
So
Video games. We got a lot of video games to talk about.
Yeah.
This is a fat list. But I want to hear first about a hot new release that I had no idea was in the works. Hot Wheels Unleashed.
vroom, vroom.
Unleashed. Finally,
I-
the leashes are off.
I give the floor to the daddies in the room.
Which one? Which one of us has
that's-
played the most
right.
Hot Wheels Unleashed?
played-
I was very excited to see this, and like, despite I got the developer and publisher mixed up, where it's Millstone, the people that make Ride and a bunch of other driving games. But for some reason in my head, it was Game Mill, the people that put out that G.I. Joe game and Big Rigs Over the Road Racing and a bunch of horrific budget nightmare stuff. And so,
No, yeah, because when
in
you
my head,
hear
I was
a
like,
name like Game Mill, you assume high quality.
yeah, no, that's definitely, yeah. So in my head, this game was always coming from them. But also in my head, there was like that era of like EA did like Rumble Racing, and then there was like a Hot Wheels Rumble or something along those that had like a really cool stunt system and all this stuff. And I was like, oh man, there have been awesome Hot Wheels-esque games, but they were forever ago now. It'd be nice if there was something cool like that. And this is not that, as far as I can tell, but it seems like a really good arcade racer, like that Burnout style tap to drift, take those wide corners and all that cool stuff.
So in my head, when I hear Hot Wheels, I'm thinking it's on like a track, like a plastic track, and you're a tiny car. Is that this?
Yeah,
well,
but the tracks are wide enough for you to drive on them.
It's not the point of view of a human playing Hot Wheels.
Well, I hear Hot Wheels, and that's what I
couldn't
think.
really race either. You would never overtake anyone.
Yeah, there's
you
no
would just
passing.
sort of be in line.
There is, I mean, but the tracks do look like wide versions of the original orange track, and it is that level lord style. Here's this tiny ass thing in a gigantic room. Like you see elements of a human sized room in the background on some of those tracks, and so they are kind of going for that.
Do they have a lot of different like themes, like fun themes on tracks? Because I had like a Hot Wheels set that was like Halloween themed. It had like a big mansion you would do a loop through, or is it kind of like racy?
The tutorial track has a big spider on it that shoots webs onto the track, and you have to dodge them.
Ooh.
There's even when you get into the builder, there's like some of the stuff that you can actually buy, like in real life. My son and I found like a dinosaur elevator garage we have that's like in the game, and he's just like, holy shit, it's here. And he's like, throw the real one away, we got this now.
Was he like, holy shit? Was he just like start cursing up a storm? He's like, motherfucker, look at this fucking dinosaur.
It's becoming
I'm losing my goddamn mind.
Look at me, you piece of shit. Make eye contact with me, Dad, if that's your real name. Like that?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, pretty much verbatim. He's he's very expressive with only cursing. And no, it's very cool. There's a lot. They have captured Hot Wheels energy in a real satisfying way. Yeah. Like you said, down to like those little blue connectors that attach tracks together.
Oh, neat.
Like they did a real fun job there. We've spent most of the time in the track builder. Cool. Where we're just like, let's see how bananas we can get.
Is it good? Because it seems like that could be incredible if done right.
It's good, but it has some strange limitations. Specifically, like where you can put boosters. So when you're playing the sort of campaign, you go across like a little booster spot or like an accelerator pad or whatever it is. For some reason, some of the assets are not able to be stamped with those boosters for whatever reason. So, there's one little, sort of animated asset they have where there's like this snake, right? And the snake's mouth opens up and you can go drive through it. And then you have to do like a corkscrew. And then you come out like, I guess not the butt of the snake, but sort of like under its junk, I guess, a little bit. And anyway, you need to have a lot of speed or a boost. If you're out of a boost, you can't complete the loop. So you just sort of, fall.
Oh, it's a time.
So it's not like an automatic kind of Sonic the Hedgehog, hold a button and you'll run around in a loop.
Yeah, no, it's a real video game.
Physics.
It's real physics, real life Hot Wheels physics. So, I mean, outside of those things, the track building stuff can get pretty intense. They give you like, I think it's something, the meter goes up to like 1,800, I guess, units or whatever. And you have that much to work with on the track. But you'll definitely, get your money's worth there. We've made some pretty ridiculous and borderline impossible to finish tracks that are really fun. They give you the list of assets are really cool. You can use like magnetic tracks, invisible stuff. So you can set up sort of like jumps mid-track. That's really fun. Yeah, I mean, there's no shortage of stuff there. That all seems to work really well. I think, like I said, bulk of my time spent in the track building mode. The biggest issues I run into in that sort of creation is editing. Like you finish the track, you can make a circuit or like a one-way sort of thing. If you want to go back and edit, that can get a little gnarly. The controls for that are just not super easy to kind of pop in and out like that. So there are a few frustrating
editing
moments.
a track you've already built kind of thing, like going back in.
So like Yeah, like if you want to, it's like, say it's like segment 75 out of 350, right?
Right.
You got to click all the way back to 75, and then it's just not super intuitive how you actually manipulate that track. It gets upset if like that segment isn't attached to the one in front of it, and you just have to sort of like learn how all that works, and it could be frustrating. While you're building it though, that's super satisfying because you have these really intuitive controls to bend the track, to corkscrew it, and also lengthen it. Yeah, that's great. All that feels real nice. And then there's little shortcuts to be like, oh, I screwed this up, let me just reset this little piece here. So that's super fun. I kind of wish, I haven't seen it yet. Maybe there is a way to do it. I haven't seen a way to sort of like race against bots in my custom track. Like I want to do that real bad. I know I can share it online, but I'm not. Maybe it might be there. I just haven't. If it is, it's sort of buried and not explicitly clear. But I just want to do that. And
I wonder
really
if their AI is maybe not good enough to handle, like if they had to bake AI into each of their created tracks, and maybe they can't handle the.
I mean, yeah, it would be. We've made some impossible shit, but but yeah, I would love to see that. But other than that, we're really enjoying our time with it. It's a lot of fun.
It's nice to look
interesting. At. Like, it looks good, and it's like it's a pretty full release. Which, like, again, I think that's on me for assuming this was coming from the budget publisher, but like they have a expensive edition that is like, they're treating it like a full-on AAA Nightmare Factory of, if you spend all the money, you get it 3 days early and you get season pass 1 and 2 and these car packs, and like they're taking it seriously in a way that I feel like a lot of Hot Wheels games have not gotten. But also the driving itself feels good enough that it's I don't know. This could be really awesome. I haven't spent quite enough time with it, and I haven't gotten online and seen how that goes. I've been playing on PS5. I guess there's parts of it on, like, when you think about it in terms of it being a PlayStation 5 game, there's aspects of it that I'm like, this looks nice, but like it could look better. It uses some of the rumble trigger stuff, but maybe not as well as it maybe could be good of.
This is an odd question with Hot Wheels being tiny cars, but do any of the different Hot Wheels control or feel different, at least? Like, some that are like kind of buses or hot dog cars.
Oh, okay. Stats like different boost types, even like and you can upgrade them on top of that. So you get an upgrade currency that you put into the cars to raise some of those stats, and then you can. It looks like they basically like they sell blind boxes of cars, so not for real money. That's like you earn the game currency in game and then go unlock a car. But then there are like a handful of cars that you can just buy directly, and I think those rotate in and out over time, if I had to guess.
Can I buy a real Hot Wheel and scan it in?
No, that would the Toys to Life thing.
Though.
I know when you were in the video game business, Toys to Life was huge, but that's
yeah. Danny, is that right?
Jan was talking about scanning real Pokemon cards into a TCG thing. I just got it's.
Honestly, I was a little scared when I heard about this game because the Hot Wheels market is just as bad as like TCG stuff right now.
Wow.
Oh.
The Hot Wheels market.
Wait, is it for real?
Yeah. Oh, totally. Yeah. Like.
For like the rare ones, because I have genuinely like 700 of these motherfucking things. Like,
I mean, I don't know about like rarity of Hot Wheels because that's a thing.
Why not?
I'm trying to not dip into. I'm already too deep into Pokemon. I thought about football cards. I can't do that.
Did you buy any of the virtual wrestling cards that they have sold so far?
Yeah,
you will get them. I think they will mail you physical, real ones when they are available. But
like
you didn't.
I did or something.
I did also.
Hey.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Jeff.
Okay.
I did also. I bought multiples of them, thinking like, what if I left one sealed and then opened another one? I'm like, that's dumb.
Okay, this is a safe space. Anything you would like to
Can I buy
admit
the
to?
hand that Mae Young gave birth to? Is that
no? That's
one
a
of the
different
cards?
company.
That's in the vault. That's in the vault forever.
You could. You could buy Mark Henry maybe, and that's semi-related.
That's halfway. If I could get that and Mae Young, then I can make my own hand.
Complete the set. Yeah.
Can I buy a Rikishi?
No.
Huh? What's the point?
You could buy a depressed millennial cowboy.
I already have those.
Okay.
All right.
Right.
Those are
Speaking
abundant
to those
online
cars,
right now.
So I think all the cars in this game I think are real, because whenever you get one, it like says what like set it was in or what year it was in.
Cool.
That's cool.
Which is cool. And I'm trying to figure this out, but I think they get damaged because one of my cars has started to have like little scuffs on it, like because I've been driving it a lot, and it looks
That's
so
cool.
good. Like because all the cars are like insanely detailed and small, and they have that sort of like macro camera look to them. So when you're looking at them in the menus, they just look fantastic, you know. But I think they do. Yeah, I think they get scuffed up a bit. You can kind of see the damage under the rubber.
They need a Gran Turismo
underneath.
car wash. They need to be able to.
Be cool if they put like cereal, like big cereal pieces all over the place.
Yeah.
Maybe
Maybe if you fly off the track, your mom comes by and steps on it and yells at you.
Right. Dog barks at it, thinks it's
fluff
alive,
stuck
and
in the
just
wheel,
barks right
just
at
doesn't
it.
turn. Yeah. I mean, the driving in it is like I think the great thing about it is that it's very simple. Like there's no power ups except for the boost. Basically, what you're doing is drifting to get boost.
Right.
Every time you drift, like Burnout style, your boost gauge goes up. The boost is like super important, but it's not like Mario Kart where it's super complex tracks. It's very much. It kind of reminds me of like Trackmania in that like it's about mastery, like shaving a second off
here.
this turn. Yeah,
a little bit. That I definitely a little bit. Yeah, and the track creator and stuff like that. Like there were elements of this that I was like, okay, I kind of like they're kind of doing that, but not. Yeah, it seems pretty cool. Definitely a lot cooler than you might expect.
Yeah.
Hot Wheels game to be in this day and age, and it's been awesome to see that because like I said, I don't think I've been kind of chasing that weird Hot Wheels high of like a PS1, PS2 era because in those games like they basically made it so you could hold down a stunt button and just flip the car and rotate it and basically do all these dumbass tricks, and that was super fun. In this, you do have air control, like you can theoretically rotate the car, but you kind of need a lot of space to do it, and it doesn't seem like the game's necessarily like it's not built to reward you for that per se. It's like you could kind of do some spins.
It looks cool.
Yes, it looks cool.
Speaking about stuff that looks cool, Mr. Gersman, what about those monkeys and these balls?
All right, yeah, well, it's just one racing game to another. This one does have Sonic the Hedgehog in it. Bananamania.
Wrestling? We talked about wrestling again?
Yeah. Bananamania is coming to the Superdome. Super Monkey Ball Bananamania. I've been playing this for a couple of weeks now, off and on.
Bananamania?
Yes, I've had Bananamania for a very long time, and
does it feel good?
What?
Okay, real quick.
I see a Dreamcast
Where
in the ball
are you?
here.
Where are you, Jeff Gerstmann, at with Monkey Ball as a franchise?
I liked
before
Monkey
this.
Ball when they first got going with it, and then every time they made it again and again, I was just like, "Come on, whatever." Like I can't with this.
They had that dark era where they let you control the ball instead of the course,
right? Instead of
that was
so
low point
you
for
tilt
sure.
you tilt the course.
Okay,
You tilt the course, so they are back on course as far as I'm concerned. There was some controversy around it not having lives. It's not necessarily built like an arcade game. I mean, the original game was in arcades.
The big old banana controller, right?
Yes,
or like the thing was shaped like a banana. There's something shaped like a banana.
You literally. Oh, there's something shaped like a banana. You grip that banana and you make that course move.
I think I used that as a podcast title already.
Yeah. And so it's really in terms of games that are like Trackmania, this one is all about your time attack type stuff as well, and online leaderboards, but it doesn't necessarily. It's not about that big online experience. Like it does have online leaderboards and all that sort of stuff, but so the thing that is keeping me from like fully saying, hey, this is probably the best Monkey Ball game in years, which it probably is two things. One, I have not played the last handful of Monkey Ball games because I just had gotten away from them.
They rolled away so fast.
Yeah, exactly. And two,
Sonic's in it.
There are Sonic's in it, and that sucks. It turns the bananas into rings, and it makes the ring noise when you play as Sonic, because of course it does.
Oh.
So there are aspects of it that like, again, I'm playing it on a PlayStation 5, and there are aspects of this that I want to be better. Like the number one thing is that it does not have a fast retry button the way a Trackmania game would. And when you make a mistake in that game, you immediately know I want to start over, but instead it's a pause, go to retry, hit the button, and then it redoes the level intro and all this other stuff. And you're like, I don't need any of this stuff. Like, let me roll.
Like the spiral, camera thing.
Like here's the camera thing. Here's the name of the course. Like it's gonna take you a little bit to get right back into it. And I just want to be able to just like snap my fingers and be right back at the start of it to give it another go, because it is a game about shaving off that little bit of time, or like getting more bananas, like whatever you're doing.
Hitting a shortcut, like practicing a shortcut over and over, and you want to be able to just like whip through it.
Yeah, and so you fall off the course, and it takes like a handful of seconds for it to fall to the point where it comes up and says "fall out," and then shows you a replay of what you just did, and then you have to either skip the replay or save the replay. Which, like, come on, who's saving Monkey Ball replays? What are we doing? And then you got to go back to the beginning, and then see the. So there's like that specific aspect of this is a bummer, because you just look at it and go like, if you streamlined this stuff. Like, I think that time attack online leaderboard stuff, if you did more around that, and the game's not out quite yet, so I don't know. Like, in my head, this game should have Monkey Ball ghosts in it to represent my friends' times and all this other stuff. I don't have any friends that are playing the games because it's not out yet. Yeah. So I don't think it has that in any kind of great quantity. I think there is in the time attack. There's a time attack mode where you can take on a full 10 levels in one go. And there might be something in there where you can race ghosts, but I haven't. Yeah, I need to dig through the menu some more about that. So the feature set around that stuff, I'm a little bit hazy on. But it controls well, and it plays like Monkey Ball. There are aspects of it where like the frame rate takes a couple of hits, and you're like, come on, this doesn't look that good, and it's running on a PlayStation 5. Like, why would it? They're better than that. It should run at a 60 hertz nonstop. That's crazy. And then just little stuff like that where, hey, it's running at 4K, but a lot of the big, it'll stamp a big monkey graphic over the screen as it kind of spins in, like these 2D flat assets. Looks super jaggy, like they were not meant to be seen at 4K. And it's like just little shit like that. You're like, there's stuff around the edges of this that if you were truly making your love letter to Monkey Ball, these are the things you would do. But that said, it's still cool. It has some fun unlockables. It's got the dude from Jet Set Radio in it. It's got Tails in it. You can buy hats for the monkeys, like all that sort of stuff.
Do they actually?
Also, what if you bought Tower Unite and played their bootleg Monkey Ball in there? Like they've got.
I was going to bring that up later. It's actually pretty good.
Actually, not bad.
It's not bad. Do they actually change the bananas to rings for Sonic?
Yes, they do. Yes.
What do they do for? Do you know what they do for Kiryu, Mr. Yakuza?
I don't. They might just stay as bananas for everyone else. I'm not. I don't know that they change it for everyone.
Little Majimas.
Yeah.
I don't know what that says about me. That like as soon as I got 5,000 coins, the first thing I bought was Sonic and not Kiryu.
It means you're sick.
Says a lot.
A sickness, a video game related sickness. Yeah.
Or you're really excited about the movie with Idris Elba.
Well, yeah. I mean, both of these things are probably true in different degrees, but yeah. And then they're doing DLC. I think they said like Hello Kitty is in it and stuff like that. So, but not. Wow. So the game's not out yet, so I can't go buy the DLC and all that because the DLC doesn't post to the store until the game comes out. I think it's out. It might be out today, actually. I don't know.
Also holding out for Bats Maru, right?
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, because why would I settle for Hello Kitty when I get a nice Bats Maru?
The metaverse.
Yes, the metaverse. These are all also all the monkeys are NFTs now.
Okay, that checks out.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
It's good. It's good. It could be better in a handful of meaningful ways that I wish it was. Like they've been making these games for a very long time, and gosh, I wish that they would have nailed a little bit more of that kind of menu flow stuff.
Feels like they were making some very specific choices, which I'm assuming you would make in Deltarune Chapter 2. Ben,
okay.
You are my Undertale guy.
Hold on.
Okay.
I need to bring something to attention right now that I'm surprised Bacalar is letting you slide on. Last weekend, I was listening, and there was some question being called into certain segues. I don't know if Bacalar has just gone deaf to it, if it's just kind of become white noise to him, but
Possible.
Janet, I love you, and I respect you as a host.
Is
but all I'm going to say about
the intervention?
segues,
Is this the intervention?
all I'm going to say about
sit down.
segues is that the creator of Segway died on a Segway. And so just keep that in mind, Just think about that.
Okay, that I can't fucking sit still. I was getting ready to like have an excuse. I was like, oh, I probably made a face, Ben. If you were listening, you couldn't
because
see it.
I picked up. I had the same reaction as you last week. I was listening along, and when you were trying to call attention to some things.
Man,
That was like a
It's
Norm
fucked up.
Macdonald joke. But I've been listening to watching his YouTube videos for the past 2 weeks, so I'm on board. That was good. I like it.
I'm just saying it's dangerous out there. You got to watch out.
Well, I'm not podcasting on a cliff, so we're okay for now.
Yeah. So to answer your question, I was the Undertale guy, as so it has been assigned to me. I don't know. Anyone else here play Undertale at all? Any
Too scared.
Deltarune, any Undertale?
I played
I
Undertale.
tried to play Undertale and
Yeah. So, Deltarune is kind of the next thing from Toby Fox. Oh boy, I should have this written down because I have a bunch of notes. But when was Chapter 1? It was like 2019?
You were still here.
that
Yes,
sounds
2018,
right.
late 2018 or something. This is Chapter 2. It released for free. Played it on Steam. It's coming to Switch. I don't know if it's out on Switch yet, but it really is. Gosh, it really is more Deltarune. Not talking about video games for a while and coming back and have to talk about Undertale. Deltarune is like a double Black Diamond scenario because the people who care a lot about Deltarune have played Deltarune and made up their minds about Deltarune. The people who are never going to play Deltarune don't care about Chapter 2 so much.
It's free. It's worth pointing out
free.
that those first 2 chapters are free, so anyone could check it out. I guess like my question is, this is probably a question I asked you back then, but is Deltarune something you could play without having played Undertale?
It has gotten to that point.
Okay.
I don't think anyone really knew the answer to that after Chapter 1 because Deltarune does not reference Undertale directly in any way. It uses a lot of the same characters, but the setting is different. The atmosphere is different. Their relationships are different. There are new characters in Deltarune. And that's one of the things I like about it is it's kind of expanding out its core cast to give it a little more of a like town vibe. Like it is very much, I guess a very loose setup for it is like there's a light world and a dark world. The light world has all of your friends from Undertale are there, like as people around the town, like teachers, police officers, doctors, whatever. And then the dark world is kind of exclusive to Deltarune. These are new characters. There are threads definitely introduced in Undertale that they touch upon in Deltarune. But I think at this point, and Toby Fox has basically said as much at this point that it is its own thing and it can be enjoyed as its own thing.
Cool.
And I think it's getting better. I don't want to sell it short. I don't want to say it's just the same thing as Chapter 1 at all because it's not. I think Toby has increased capacity as a game designer. I think it's more fun to play both in and out of combat. The overworld has kind of this almost WarioWare feel to it where you're constantly kind of like it is somewhat open world in the fact that there are like little mini towns with shops that you can travel between, but it is linear in the sense of like you are kind of only ever moving forward, if not to backtrack and maybe buy an item, talk to some people after some events happen. But since it's linear like that, it can have scenarios where you like step into a teacup ride and now all of a sudden you're controlling it and you're dodging things on like a 3D plane and then you hop out and you enter a battle, which might have a mini game that's like Punch Out and just kind of like really good flow to it. That's really more fun to play as an entire package. because one of the things about Undertale was like, you know, it was very much styled after an RPG, but it was more about just kind of like, you walk around, you talk to some people, you enter a battle zone, you do some battles, you walk around, you talk to people, you enter a battle zone, you do some battles. So it kind of feels a little more cohesive in that regard. I mentioned that they're building out a new roster of characters, which I'm excited for. It feels very like, I know Toby Fox worked on, oh boy, why is it slipping my mind right now? The webcomic, MS Paint Adventure. Boy,
Homestuck.
This is the wrong room. Homestuck, yeah. Toby Fox did some Homestuck stuff, music, and maybe some other stuff. It does feel like it kind of has that vibe, that kind of young adult vibe. Like I wasn't a Homestuck guy, but plenty of my middle school friends at the time were.
This brings me to an important question, and I'm glad you brought up Homestuck. Which fandom is worse? Is it the Undertale Deltarune fandom, or is it the Homestuck fandom? Or are they the same?
I was going to say, I think there might be some overlap.
There's definitely some overlap. I don't have a ton of experience with the Homestuck fandom. They kind of keep to themselves. You'd see them at anime cons.
I think they hide on Tumblr.
They hang out on Tumblr, and there is definitely a big Undertale fandom on Tumblr, for sure. That is the site for it, probably. And I would say probably that Undertale / Deltarune fans have kind of chilled out. I personally haven't noticed a ton of like over the topness with the release of Chapter 2. And even Chapter 1, like it was interesting because it was such a surprise, right? It was like Toby Fox was just like, hey, check it out. I made a new game. It has some relation to Undertale. I dropped it, like play it. And some people freaked out about it, obviously, because it just kind of came out of nowhere. I think the people who really love Undertale and Deltarune kind of get that it's not for everyone. Obviously, There's going to be exceptions to this always with fandom. But I think generally people know, like, this is ours now. We're going to, like, watch it grow. We're going to recommend it to people who are curious, you know, and sing its praises. But overall, we're just going to be off on our own waiting for a new chapter every, whatever, year and a half, 2 years. I'm excited to see where the story goes. And Toby has kind of laid in a little more of the alternate. You kind of segued us into this by mentioning choices you have to make. Deltarune Chapter 1 was fairly linear. It had a fairly straightforward outcome. Chapter 2 is kind of opening that up a little bit, getting a little more murky around the edges of certain choices you can make, certain paths you can take, which was definitely a big thing in Undertale.
Ben, do you think I should just jump into maybe Undertale, or maybe just dip my toes into Deltarune first?
I would say check out Deltarune. I think that at this point, if people are in a situation like you where they've been kind of curious, it's worth checking out Deltarune first. I think Undertale is still good. I think it's aged a little more poorly, probably, in both the gameplay and the humor. The humor is just like co-opted by so many other people now at this point. It's kind of like that thing if like you go and watch Tim and Eric and you're like, this is still funny, but like so many people have tried to do this since that it loses that little bit of like freshness it had. Like it's not their fault at all, right?
Yeah,
it's fair.
But yeah, play Deltarune, and you can always go back to Undertale if you like Deltarune and just like check out where it all came from.
Okay, all right. You know, I don't have a segue for this. ActRaiser Renaissance, Jeff. I was thinking about how we could segue this into 3 other games. I was thinking about a choral arrangement, but ActRaiser Renaissance. The one of the most confusing games I played as a child, ActRaiser, the original one, because I thought I'd be a cool hack and slash dude, and then I guess I still was a god.
Yeah. This game coming out was the game that like maybe go like, I gotta be on the show next week. I gotta.
Oh no! For which reason?
It's a mess.
Good mess?
Nah, no, probably not. It's okay. ActRaiser, the original, is damn near perfect.
Incredible game.
Incredible game. One of the best of its era.
long history with me and that game
Yeah.
and this website. Dating all the
Yes.
way back to my time as an intern.
Yeah. And it's this amazing mix of like side-scrolling, maybe like Castlevania-esque action, I guess you would say, in a sense, and a sort of city builder slash like you're like a city is being built and you are a god overhead and you are helping the humans by shooting lightning at trees to clear the path for them, or you're an angel flying around shooting arrows at enemies before they can steal the humans away. And and those bits are never especially challenging, but they're just engaging enough to where you're having a great time going through them in between the side-scrolling action stages.
Yeah, they kind of vary them up a little bit. Like the climates will change. All of a sudden, you'll be in a desert climate until you have to use a different. You have a lot of solar powers, like sunlight or wind or whatever, until you're kind of constantly flipping between those to solve little puzzles.
Yeah, and just incredible soundtrack.
One of Yuzo Zero.
Yeah,
best.
Just amazing music. And so it just kind of came, and they did a sequel, and I don't think it was very good. But no one really thinks about ActRaiser much anymore, and so having a remake of ActRaiser just kind of stealth drop out of nowhere was one of them. That was the most insane thing. Because I wasn't watching the direct, I was busy covering
being
myself
a dad,
in baby poop, and all this other stuff.
Oh,
but I'm looking at Twitter every so often, and smearing making sure my phone is clean, and all this other stuff. And then I see oh, by the way, they're putting out an ActRaiser remake, and it's coming out today. And I'm like, that's the dumbest. What? I can't. That's
Drop
impossible.
the baby. Just
Yeah, exactly.
Here
It's
we
like,
go.
you sit here. I have to go. And it's like $30.
Oh,
Yeah. When there's a whole lot of Nintendo games, Super Nintendo games, you can play for free right now on your Switch or other places.
Yeah,
Is ActRaiser
sure.
one of
Yes.
ActRaiser's not one of them.
Yeah, ActRaiser's not one of them on the Switch because
There is really no good way to play ActRaiser forever.
Oh, I've got plenty of great ways to play ActRaiser.
Until today.
I got 40 different devices in this room alone that will run ActRaiser really
this
well.
microphone will run ActRaiser.
Yes, yeah. Can it run Doom? Who cares? Can it run Crysis? I don't give a shit. Can it run ActRaiser? This is the true benchmark. So they have done
good.
No, it doesn't look good. This ActRaiser Renaissance looks bad, and in some ways, I'm way into how bad it looks, because what they did is they made really crappy 3D models instead of obviously it's a SNES game we're talking about here. These are 2D sprites. Great use of Mode 7, takes advantage of everything a Super Nintendo can do in that early days of the system before they went.
When you enter a dungeon, you're basically falling from heaven, spinning around into the dungeon.
Music is
that
perfect.
Mode 7,
all this other stuff. Yes, it was an amazing thing at the time, and they have replaced it with. Yeah, they made some kind of really budget-looking 3D models, and then just kind of captured them to turn them into 2D sprites. The game is not. I don't get the impression the game is truly polygonal in nature. So instead, it just looks grungy and grimy and messed up in I forget who it was. Someone compared it to that was a Skeleton Warriors for the Saturn, which has a similar low rent captured 3D vibe. And someone in chat is saying it looks like a 3DO game. And it looks trashy. It looks like crap. And in a sense, I'm like, that's kind of cool, because there was an era there where developers were trying to push that envelope, and it led to stuff like Donkey Kong Country, which looks terrible, but also Killer Instinct, which looks pretty good. There's like that era of we can't render this stuff in real time, but we have machines back at the ranch that can really pump out some 3D. So we're going to just take screenshots of that and use that. And it looks like they're doing that. And that's a weird choice to make for this game, because it's not like the original had any ties to that type of aesthetic. And so it just feels like this very out of left field thing that kind of just looks like crap. And I don't think it's a full failure, but only because I kind of like how shitty it looks.
Right?
No, I don't think
I believe you can toggle between the two styles, but when you toggle off of the new look, you lose the music, the updated score.
Okay, I know that there's a music like a remastered classic music thing. I don't. I'll have to launch it during the break and double check on that. But and they've added things to it. Which is like an interesting idea, but they've made the game a bit more complicated. You now have a backdash in combat. And it's kind of like a 3-hit combo with the sword. The combat in the original game, maybe not the best. Like the sword, the length of the strikes and stuff like that. Like for as amazing as that game is, there are parts of it that you look at it now, going, maybe the actual combat could have been a little more dynamic and interesting. They've tried to do that here with like a 3-hit combo and a backdash and a couple other things. Or if you're holding forward on the 3rd hit of the combo, it'll lunge forward, so you get a little bit more mobility.
Okay. Yeah, because the core gameplay of ActRaiser was always just fine. It was like one of those things where it was like greater than the sum of its parts, right? Like
Absolutely.
No individual part except maybe the music was incredible.
Yeah.
But put together, it was just this really cool package.
Totally. And yeah, so they've tried to do some things there. I don't know that it's necessarily successful, because they've also, like I have not finished the game, but getting to the first boss, into the first area and stuff like that, like the boss encounter is a little more challenging because you have a bit wider space to work with, and
that big minotaur, right?
That big minotaur with the lightning staff and stuff like that. Like those attacks are still there, but he's a dick. But it doesn't feel great. Also, so when you're in the angel kind of city building part of the game, they've made it so you can shoot those arrows in full analog directions, and they kind of hone in on targets now.
I'm outraged with you.
Yeah.
Wow.
Which is fine, but also they have added gameplay to that where there are monster spawners around your towns, and the monsters will keep spawning out of them until you eventually lead the people over to them, and they will seal it shut with a ritual or something. Now,
I believe that. Go ahead.
Now you actually go down into those holes and fight a little mini boss. And so it's like it goes back to the side-scrolling action there, and in the first one of those, it's just, here's a big spawner blob, and I just stood next to it and hit it with a sword, and it was like, awesome, you won.
There was a game that came out in like 2018 that Brad played a bit of that was semi like ActRaiser, and they did something similar.
Soul Seraph, I believe it's called.
Yes,
that game.
So they did the same thing with the mini games, and I remember us during the quick look being like, "This is really jarring and weird, and like doesn't add to the package at all." And so the fact that they added that to ActRaiser is very strange.
But wait, there's more. They've added tower defense to the city building stuff, so you can now put down forts. You have your temple in the middle, and the people kind of build out as you see fit or as you direct them, and they build farms and buildings and stuff like that. And now you have a hero unit, and you can level him up. Kerrigan, yeah. But you don't have direct control. You like during these tower defense things, you can tell the hero unit, "Hey, go here." But really, it's about you need to build forts, and you need to put blockades on the roads, and
this really sounds like Soul Seraph.
Kind of like and that is not a great addition to ActRaiser. It's just kind of like, okay, well, I built these encampments and now I don't have the resources to build anymore. You didn't really give me a great idea of what direction they'd be coming from. So prior to this event happening, I didn't really get a good sense of where I should be plopping down my encampments or my bases or whatever. So it just feels like a really half-baked take on that kind of tower defense stuff. And you're kind of just like, or at least like in those early ones, I was just mopping it up by taking the hero unit and saying, run over here. And then when he gets there, he just kills everybody. Or you can cast lightning. And in the tower defense sequences, your spells don't actually damage any of your structures. They only kill the enemies. So there's no fear about collateral damage or anything like that. And so you just like, oh, I guess I can punch out of this bad situation by just hitting all these guys with lightning while they're stuck at the blockade. And I appreciate that someone sat down and said, we could probably do a little bit more with ActRaiser and try to expand it out in some directions. I just don't think that the stuff that they added to it actually makes the game any better.
Yeah.
And it probably makes it a little bit worse, a little bit more tedious. And then the action is not amazing either. Even with the enhanced combat, it's still not great.
Forgive me for my ignorance here, but is Brutal Legend just ActRaiser?
No, because Brutal Legend is a Zelda game that then like lies to you. You're like, oh, this is a really good like heavy metal Zelda game, and then you get to a point where they go like, oh, by the way, it's actually a real-time strategy game, and you're like, oh, I don't want to do this. This is not fun at all. Like this is.
Can it not be?
Can we not do that? Because they're like a skip this part button because I like your voice acting and all this other stuff. Like I got to I forget how far I got into that game, but it was basically like the second or third part where it's like, you want to play an RTS? And I was like, I don't want no, I do not.
That really was such a moment.
Yeah.
Like
they did not tell anyone.
Yeah.
They did a really good job of not telling anyone that fact until very close to its retail release.
The publisher told Tim, we interviewed him about this last year, and the publishers were like, don't say the words real-time strategy.
Yeah, EA was EA was hiding it. So I remember one GDC, I was having a conversation with someone who was at EA and had just come from like the internal, like, we're going to sit down and show off every project. Everyone's in town for GDC. Let's show off all the projects. And let everyone know what the slate looks like for the next year or whatever it is. And I'm like riding up an escalator with this person, and he goes, "You know, Brutal Legend? It's an RTS." I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about? It's like a Legend of Zelda." Like, oh, it's an RTS.
How?
And I didn't even know what he meant then until getting a hold of it, and I was like, "Oh God, what a nightmare!" Like. If it had been a hip-hop game, maybe the RTS would have been good enough.
Okay, all right.
If EA had gotten its way on that front.
Well, it sounds like an overwhelming chorus that ActRaiser Renaissance may not be the best. But Jeff Backlar, tell me about Chorus.
Yeah, so I played a demo of Chorus, which is a space sort of dogfighting kind of... not really sure how else to describe it. It is almost it's not an open world sort of situation, but it's a dog fighting game that you're kind of like following objective markers, fighting other enemy spaceships. And the game definitely has a gimmick of like the cool sort of shit you can do in your little space vehicle. So, there are 3 different weapons that you can choose from on the D-pad, and you sort of get a quick taste, sort of outline of like what an enemy's vulnerabilities are before you have to fight with them in this sort of, little area of space that you're fighting in, that the demo takes place in. And again, this demo is like very much sort of catered and cut up just specifically for the demo. So I was told that what I was playing is not, it will not play the same way in the final sort of version, I guess, in terms of like the cadence and the sort of moment to moment beats and whatnot. But, as far as like the dogfighting and that space fighting goes, I found it to be really interesting. There is a sort of mode you can enter that allows you to basically, it's like this weird inertia effect where you can sort of set yourself in a certain direction, hold on to one of the shoulder buttons, and then have full 360-degree turning ability, but continuing on in that same direction. So it's not like a drift kind of thing. It's more of like I want to keep going in that direction at that speed, but now I have the mobility to look all around and shoot other enemies. And I found that it took a while for me to realize what the advantages are of that, especially, the sort of objectives that you're handed in the demo don't lend themselves to using that at the beginning, but when you're battling a good, 8 to 15 enemies on screen, you're all of a sudden you're just like, oh wow, I can dodge and sort of have full mobility of where I want to shoot. So that was really cool. There's also a super wild warp teleporting effect where if you have an enemy kind of in your sight lines, you can hit B, the B button, and that will warp you to an advantageous shooting angle against the enemy.
Oh,
So
that's
like if
kinda
you
cool.
engage with that enemy, that kind of opens up the ability for you to teleport. You take damage real fast, and I've died over a dozen times just in this little demo. I think it takes a lot of learning how to rotate, through the various sort of effects and abilities that you have to kind of find that and strike that really solid balance so you can progress through a bunch of enemies. But from what I played, it seems all right. I don't know. I can already tell like maybe the story is just not going to be the thing that the reason I play this thing.
Yeah, it looks
It is very much
pretty
like
serious. You form a bond with your sentient ship.
Yeah, I mean, like you and your ship are talking a lot. You whisper to yourself, and like your whispers are hints. Like, I need to focus on the launch pads, like that sort of thing. Like, it's again, I don't know how much there is there, but as far as the gameplay is concerned, I was surprised. Like, I guess I haven't really found a sort of space dogfighting game that I was sort of, I don't know, drawn into in a way that I was like, oh, I could definitely see myself playing this. But this game looks fantastic, performs real nice, and
It seems
just
to
is a
play
real-
way more arcadey than like a lot of like
Yeah.
it's not an Elite Dangerous or anything like that. It's more
totally.
of a-
It's that ultra
snappy.
precision. Yeah, like super surgical. You can kind of dip in and out of like this sub light drive engine you have where you just kind of blast off and you can de-engage that real fast and kind of get your bearings. So they're pretty generous with controlling all that and making you feel pretty powerful and effective. But yeah,
Is it
it's
first
fun.
person cockpit or is it behind the back?
It's
the
third
stuff?
person. It's a third person cock. Yep.
Okay, and
sorry?
so how do they just put speed lines coming off your ship or something? Like how do they show you're moving in this direction but you're facing this direction?
Yeah.
Is it kind of just
so
like
it's definitely speed lines, and then it's also that forced sort of like longer angle, right? Where like
okay, yeah.
the second you start to go real fast, the ship gets a little smaller and your field of vision gets a little wider. That combined with the sort of speed effects, not to mention like your objective all of a sudden is like really, the sort of mileage is dipping in a way that you're like, okay, I'm moving. Plus,
Yeah.
you're not, it's not like at least what I've played, it's not like a No Man's Sky sort of situation where you are so far away from the things that you're traveling to that the effect is maybe not as impactful. In these areas, it's a fucking asteroid field. There's all kinds of space
Yeah.
stations. Like you are just blowing by this shit.
Yeah, did you play this demo that I'm looking at? Because it's not like out in space. It looks like you're diving in between. Like there's a lot of shit to dodge and go around. Like ships.
There's a ton of shit.
Yeah,
there's
it's
like
not-
debris everywhere. It seems like
Like an
some sort of
asteroid
like
belt.
asteroid garden almost, where like they have this like very flattened population of it. It's neat. I was not expecting much.
Cool.
It's sort of big on a lot of the other production values that sort of surround the game. Like I said, I don't know how much I'm going to really get into that story part of it. I have not been exposed to a ton of it, but what I've sort of seen with that is sort of like, all right, I guess we'll be talking to my robot, spaceship.
Do you think the spaceship is like your deceased spouse, perhaps?
Oh yeah, it is the soul of my like robot husband or something.
Sick.
It's like a Solo.
Yeah, it's up in there. It's all up in it somehow.
Yes, that was a real thing that happened in Solo. That was not a joke.
Is it?
I thought you were going to
Yeah,
go
they
for
put
the
those. They
Bionic
put the
Commando
robot wife
one.
in the...
Oh,
Well, yeah,
right,
I mean,
robot wife.
obviously, Bionic Commando is the best robot or wife arm, wife soul
Fuck, I forgot about
transplant.
that.
Best
of all
wife
time.
arm award goes to Bionic Commando yet again.
No one's come for it yet.
Yeah.
But no, Chorus is cool. Like I believe Fish Labs is the developer, and Deep Silver's putting it out, and it's I'm digging the three choices of guns on my ship, just kind of rotating back and forth between that. One's like a Gatling gun, one's like a laser, one's
We got pew
sort of-
pews,
got a lot of pew
ratatatas.
pews, and one is sort of like a 1-2 sort of rocket punch that has a pretty generous cooldown. So it's dope. There I am in space doing the thing.
speaking about generous cooldown, we've talked a lot about a lot of games, and holy poop, we still have a lot more games to talk about. I'm gonna go towel off in the dark.
Yeah.
And why don't we just let's take a quick break? How's that feel?
Sounds great.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Sure.
All right, so you're leading a busy life, you know. You're computing, you're hanging out around the house, you're doing this stuff. You know, you don't have time all the time to get out, and all of this computing can work up an appetite. So Grubhub's got you covered. Grubhub works hard to serve restaurants so that they can work hard to serve you. You can get food delivered right to your home from your favorite local restaurants, national chains, all that sort of stuff. And they've got a new offer right now from Panera. Today, Grubhub's doing a little extra to serve Panera. You can get a free delivery perk on your first order from Panera of $15 or more. Order through the Grubhub app or online. Grubhub, we serve restaurants.
Oh, there were so many games. I felt like I was wandering around like a wasteland. If only I had a speeder-like bike to assist me in just gliding and running through this place, much like it looks like you have in Sable.
Now this is pod racing. Yeah, Sable. What
She's
do we
my
call this
favorite
game?
pod racer.
She's real good at it. Although the thing stutters quite a bit, which is a bit unfortunate. We have a quick look up on the site about this. Myself and Timur did. Sable is a incredibly beautiful, vivid-looking game. Very inspired by the artist Mobius. That type of like matte color but finely detailed stuff. I've never played a game that looks like it. It's a kind of a pilgrimage, rite of passage kind of game. A lot of exploring. I said in the quick look, if you don't like the parts of games like GTA and Red Dead where you're going to the missions, or World of Warcraft, if you fast travel everywhere, this probably isn't the game for you. It's very much about being in the world, super chill. It's got a solid soundtrack by Japanese Breakfast. The gameplay is non-combative. It's mostly interacting with people, climbing. It basically has the sort of like climbing stamina / glider thing from Breath of the Wild, just in a different form. And I really love the world they've created. Like, I like that brand of sci-fi, that sort of like hard sci-fi, late sci-fi type stuff, where who knows what planet this is on. It's got its own different cultures. They have their own odd ways of seeing the world. So I love the game because it's a really nice experience to be in. The big asterisk on it is it has technical issues. During Deltarune, I sort of disappeared for a second. They just put out a patch about an hour ago for both the Xbox and PC. This is on Game Pass, by the way, versions of the game. And I just loaded it up and played it, and it's still doing the micro stuttering, maybe less of it, but it's still like pretty noticeable. So I suspect it's the first of a lot of patches. Basically, the biggest problem is that there is as you're like flying around this world in this beautifully rendered 60 frames a second world, it will just dip to like single digit frames almost, but for like half a second. So it just micro stutters. It's not like everything slows down. It just like happens. And I think...
But that seems like enough to pull you out of the immersion.
I think it's really case by case. You know what I mean? I think this is the type of thing that will be just awful for some people, like way too much. For whatever reason, I wish it wasn't there, but it's not irking me that much. But I bet it's like some photosensitivity or something where there's certain things visually that just really piss people off, and I suspect that might be the case with this. So yeah, hopefully they're gonna fix that. It's a blemish on an otherwise really special experience, so hopefully they'll get to that. Yeah.
Speaking about bugs in games, you're playing something else that may not have any more bugs.
That was good. That was a good one, Jan. Great job.
Thank you.
I hadn't actually realized that. The two games I put down are sort of on opposite ends, maybe, of their bug life. So I got a new PC last week.
Played a bug life?
Yeah.
I love that game.
That's actually, a lot of people do like that. The old PC game's pretty good. I got a new machine with like a new graphics card, and I did the whole thing, and it runs Cyberpunk 2077.
What'd you get? What'd you get though?
I got
Spill the deets.
I got a 5900X, so a Ryzen 9. It's got 12 cores, all those virtual cores for rendering video.
Delicious.
I got a 3080 the EVGA 3080 RTX. So
okay, that's the one that was
Wow.
melting down from that Amazon game. I think. What
I think it's the is it the
or those are specifically from EVGA or something. I think was the.
yeah, I think
Yeah,
it might, maybe
that
it is that
one's
one. And also,
They
didn't
fi-
that
they
just
fixed
come
it.
out again yesterday?
I think it's out for real today or tomorrow.
Oh, it
or
is?
something.
Okay,
Yeah,
probably
yeah.
won't play it then on that PC just in case. But let someone else take the go on it. Yeah,
think
32
Rory's gonna play
gigs
some of that.
DDR4. You know, just it's a fucking
Yeah,
beast.
just a real shitty computer we got.
yeah.
Sounds like garbage.
Rod-
I mean, I because I got a 5950X and I got a 3090. So like basically you're talking like what is that? That's like that computer you got's out there riding the rails or something, man. Come on.
Yeah.
I couldn't get
there.
anything better, but it was I
Yeah,
did
no,
Central
You're right.
Computers here
You
in the
almost
Bay,
can't.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm amazed you were able to because when I got mine, it took
Yeah,
months for them to.
Dude,
How'd you
mine
do
was
it?
built in 2 days. I couldn't believe it.
What?
They
Wow.
called me 2 days later and said, "Do you want to pick it up?" And I was like, "Yeah." But I just gotten like blood work done, and I got my flu shot, and then I had to pick it up on like Howard in San Francisco. It's where
Oh,
Central
God.
Computers. Yeah, and I couldn't park anywhere except the parking lot over by Mel's, and one of my arms wouldn't work, so I had these two. But it took me like 30 minutes to get back to the car.
So walking around downtown San Francisco lugging a super high-end PC.
I was like, "Yeah, this is okay. It's daytime at least."
Don't look at me.
But yeah, I've been playing Cyberpunk, and it looks fantastic, obviously. But like, I played maybe 12 hours over the past like 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
I'm having a blast, and it's like hasn't had like I haven't noticed any bug. Like I'm sure it's like maybe I'm not doing stuff like messing with NPCs. I'm pretty much going on the path of the game. But yeah, it's like never crashed. I've never seen anything outlandish. The shooting's
So,
been fine. So
With that experience, are you enjoying it?
yeah, it's I think I understand what type of game it is, and like now, and it's to me it feels like it's like Deus Ex Invisible War with really good shooting. It's like I like the shooting in it. The guns feel good, and the choices you make are very much like that, and it has a bit more overworld than the original Deus Ex did. But it's that. It's like if you want to go down a hacking route, you want to go down this route, you want to go down that route, but the story is like, you're on rails. It's like Witcher, where there's a critical path, and then there are side quests, and then there's not really that much else to do. You know what I mean? It's not like there's a million
you're
and
fast
one-
traveling to a different area and then you're getting like 3 phone calls in a row about 9 different side jobs that are all meaningless, and then. Yeah.
The start of the
I
game,
like
you just want to put your phone on airplane mode because they just
Right,
keep
yeah,
fucking
it's like,
calling.
just stop. There's the Keanu Reeves gun that you use in the. I was just talking about this
Oh
with
my
someone recently,
gosh.
but that gun that you use in the flashback sequences is so good, and then like late game you can craft one, and then suddenly it's like the whole game plays well. And you're like, oh, okay, all right, this is
Yeah, because you blow people's arms off and heads off with one shot with that
you
thing, right?
fuck
It's
people up
just
with that thing. Yeah,
blunderbuss. Yeah. So if you get like I've like modded guns that like feel really good now, and I'm excited to use that gun for the rest of the game. Yeah, but yeah, so I'm enjoying. It looks like ridiculous. Like it's like I'm constantly hitting the screenshot button and just like spamming Twitter because I'm like, you need to look at how good this game is. But it's not like the full breathing living world that you might have expected, or even like to a game like GTA where you do a lot of side quests or side activities like going bowling with your cousin. Like it's not that either. It's very much the game is shooting people and hacking stuff and breaking into places and having conversations. But I'm enjoying it. It's fun.
Can't believe I'm thinking about playing Cyberpunk 2077 now. Thanks a lot, Danny.
Well, that's the
I
thing.
stopped.
good
I
PC.
stopped keeping track of the bug. I stopped reading the patch notes because, like, for a while, like patch notes would drop, and I would launch the game again and be like, "This is still fucked up. Like, I'm still, there's still this half torso clipped through this thing, preventing me from finishing this mission, or whatever else." And just kind of stopped. But I think I am. I think it makes sense to like look at it again once the new console versions hit.
I wonder
Next
if they'll
year, I
get
guess.
there with that as well. I like to me, this feels like a game that will only ever run on a really good PC. You know?
Yeah, I can't imagine.
Yeah.
Like I feel like seeing how Series X and PS5 games look and all that other stuff, and looking at Cyberpunk, you're like, I mean, it'll certainly run better than the PS4 version does. It'll, but is it?
Yeah, but think about, like, I bet there were people saying that about The Witcher 3 when that came out, because, like, that was a game that very much was just like high-end PC game. Check this out. Now you can play that on Switch. Like I mean, it's a much stripped down version, but they continue to like really work on that game and make it something that any modern console, using quotes here, can play. And I wouldn't be surprised if, like, Cyberpunk, obviously it's going to catch this word of mouth over the next few months, couple of years, whatever, of like, hey, they fixed a lot of bugs. Like, if you bought it and you put it down, it might be worth checking out again. And as that happens, money comes in, they start expanding on it. Who knows? They might add that multiplayer. That was a rumor of a big thing of, like, they wanted to maybe put multiplayer in after launch.
There
but
was
obviously
something,
that
there
got
was
pushed
something in,
way
I think,
to
the
the
last
back.
patch when people started data mining stuff that looked like they were maybe still working on something.
I think
along
they
those
said
lines.
something like a week or two ago where they said it's still
Really?
in the works, but we have nothing to say. Or
Yeah, I mean, they can't. They have no credibility to say anything about what's coming to that game other than fixes. So it's whatever they're working on, they shouldn't say anything. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like the bug stuff is the bug stuff. But I maintain my problem with that game is that I just don't think the main narrative was very well done, and there's like some really interesting side stuff. But I had to go hunt that down after I had finished the game. After the game came out, and people were like, "Oh, did you do this?" I was like, "No, I did a ton of side stuff." Like over leveled myself for that game in a major way, doing all the side shit I did, but like never encountered this one thing or this one thing or this one thing, and went back and did some of that, and I was like, okay, yeah, that was, the writing there was fun, but for me it was just like whatever, a bunch of bad payoffs for like for what you were doing, like just not the writing was not very good. I felt, but anyway, that's not getting fixed in patches.
Yeah, I'm excited to like get a chance to play the game this time, because I tried to when it came out, and it was just the amount of bugs, the frequency of bugs. It has been remarkable playing this game, and this is only my experience of it, but it has been odd playing this game, and literally like, especially because I'm also playing Sable, which is a game that I really enjoy, that is like buggy in a way that I'm trying to get over, that I've literally not had one thing in like a dozen hours on Cyberpunk.
Nice.
Just feels like, well, they've probably been putting in a lot of work to fix this thing.
Yeah, playing that game before it came out was a very different thing than what it is now. They've definitely they definitely have done a lot of work to it, so that's good. I mean, they had to, so good.
Speaking about a lot of work, Halo Infinite, Jeff, it's just on the horizon behind Ben. Almost here.
No, it's
You can almost see it. Is that?
You can almost.
Is that the?
It's just he's driving over. You hear that dun, 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 the drums. You see the warthog coming over the hill there. It's just.
Oh, do they have a Warthog Hot Wheels?
Hey,
They have a Warthog in Rocket League. Did that ever happen?
Yeah.
No, hold on to that Warthog.
I'm gonna say yes, but
Sounds
I
like
don't
it
know.
should have.
The last Forza Horizon had a warthog in it.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
So you could do it there. So yeah, they've been running their weekend. They ran a weekend beta last weekend. They're running another one this weekend. They actually just, I think, announced earlier today that this one coming up this weekend, anyone can play it. It's open to everybody.
Good. Sick.
PC and console, or
PC and console. I think they have not put out details about how people will acquire it on Steam. But if you just download like the Xbox Insider app on an Xbox, you can just install it and check it out that way. I had a really good time playing Halo Infinite this weekend.
That's cool.
Like they ran a beta a while back, and I was like, this seems like it could be kind of cool.
Yeah. And that was just with bots, right? That original.
Yes, they did turn on human players
yeah.
at some point, but I was not at home when that was happening. I think that was in the middle of me moving or something. But so I didn't see any of that. But like it's got a good feel to it. The pace of it I think is really nice. Like everything I've been playing has been 4v4 on small maps. Like I didn't see anything with vehicles or anything like that. I think they may have turned on one map with vehicles late in the weekend, but I did not see anything like that. And so it's just got a really good snappy feel to it. The weapons are impactful, but like, you know, the run speed, like my biggest problem that has kept me from getting like deep into Halo multiplayer has always been the pace of it, the movement speed specifically. Like Master Chief just fucking lumbers around and you couldn't run for years and years. And then they started experimenting with like, we gotta put running in. This Call of Duty game is hot. We should try something. What about armor abilities? What about this? And like they've tried different ways to kind of vary up the pacing in Halo for the last couple of games here, and it never quite felt great. But this just, you just cruise. It feels so good, so snappy. The weapons feel great. The way you expect them to feel in a Halo game, even it's one of those things where I bet they tweaked a billion different things, but playing it, you're like, yeah, that's Halo. And the pace of it and all other stuff, I feel like appeals to me as someone who has found a lot of the multiplayer in Halo to be just a little sluggish over the years. So yeah, I think it looks really nice when playing it on PC. And I'm gonna mess with it this weekend some more. It also proved to me that I still don't like capture the flag. I don't care how good a game feels or anything like that. You put a CTF game mode in there, I just don't want to play it. And I got forced into CTF.
Sacrilege. It's the number one game mode of all time.
Yeah, and I was just like,
number one multiplayer game mode all time.
I don't want to fucking do this.
It goes CTF,
King of the Hill.
Deathmatch, King of the Hill.
King of the Hill, yeah.
Scouts Knives.
Bottom there.
Yeah.
Jeff, you've also been checking out Diablo 2 Resurrected?
Yeah, they put out this Diablo 2 remake, and I didn't see any of the betas or any of the other stuff they did. That just came out. Yeah, it's out. And so I had my moment of just like, I'm totally sleep deprived and I've got a couple hours to kill here. I'm going to buy this Diablo and I'm going to buy it on console because I thought the Diablo 3 experience was really incredible on console. The things they did to, like the role you could do, everything they did, they made the inventory easy to manage. They made that game move well and feel great. When they ported it to console, I mean, I liked Diablo 3 on the PC quite a bit. I've liked Diablo on the PC for some time, but I have not gone back and played any of those older games anytime recently. And so it was this double shell shock of like, they did not do that work here to the console versions of Diablo 2. It is still direct control. It is still all that stuff. You do not have the role from Diablo 3. Like the inventory management still feels really crappy. It is still about mapping potions to the different, like you're mapping different potions to the different directions of your D-pad, and there's just a lot of inventory management stuff that like feels like should be like even just hotbar management of like, oh, I'm gonna if I hold down L2 and hit triangle, I want to do this, and like there's just a lot of different action item bars that you have to fuck around with in a way that like it just feels like they should have solved it. And they didn't, because it's a $40 like relatively budget thing and not a full release. I'm guessing is how, if asked, maybe they would try to justify it that way, but it just it doesn't feel like they put in a level of work on the console version that I was hoping for, and so I found it really stiff and really underwhelming. So it's I was hoping for more out of that, but it's a remake. It's $40, so maybe that's me expecting too much. But since Diablo 3 already solved all those problems, it's really weird that, you know, but again, like Diablo 2 is a different game, and Diablo 2 has like way more skills and all this other stuff. Like Diablo 3 is, you know, a much simpler game in ways compared to D2, and so there was a lot of that they definitely have to work with and cram onto a controller. So I guess I get it, but I
might be good on PC though.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, you know, for the mouse and a keyboard and playing it the way they originally intended, I'm sure that's probably totally okay. But I don't know that I want to do that. So I was more interested in seeing like what have they done to the console experience and all this stuff, how have they evolved it past Diablo 3, and like no, this is not that. So
is it it's out on PS4, PS5, Xbox. Is it out on the Switch?
I I don't know off the top of my head if it is on Switch. It is on consoles. It is on the PlayStations and Xboxes. And yes, it is on Switch.
Cool, because maybe you could check it out on the new OLED Switch.
Wii U. The Wii U?
Yeah, let's,
Wii U.
The
Let's
Switch
go get a
U
Wii
is
U.
coming out.
That had to be on purpose.
Great segue. Let's talk about the Wii U. Nice one, Jan.
fantastic. Got it right here. Anyway,
Marvelous 101. Anyone?
No, I'm good.
Nah, it's
Diablo U.
Diablo.
Diablo. Yeah.
I like it.
Sign me up.
Diablo. Yeah, I went and checked out the OLED Switch and Metroid Dread was that last week? Last week. There's a video up on the site of Backlar and I talking about it. Yes, there is a new and improved kickstand. It is really good. It takes up the whole back of the Switch. And that's
Did you immediately try to like lean on it with all your weight and crush it, or
No.
Okay, so you're not like a tech site type of editor. You don't know how to actually test hardware is what I'm
No.
Now
The
I know
people
why you're here.
the people
yeah,
the
this
fine
is
folks
this
at
is the other
Nintendo
reason I
were-
felt like I needed to come back. Let's talk about this. I found myself reading the CNET article about this, and they literally had a gigantic picture of the like doubling down on this kickstand business.
Oh, you found yourself reading the CNET article? How'd you come to do that?
Someone linked to it on Twitter, I think, and said like, look at this kickstand thing that they did. They can't get away from it. And like a lot of writing about the flimsy ass kickstand of the original Switch, which is not the best kickstand in the world, but to be
Yeah, maybe
fair,
they bring
that
up some
Jeff Bakalar, I don't
recent
understand
points.
why you did this.
Why am
I-
ghostwriting CNET
You
articles?
personally, yeah.
It could have been the best kickstand ever made, but I never would have used it. I don't think I
have
ever
never
felt like I
used
wanted to use
Yeah,
it.
no one's ever used it.
For myself.
Also, yeah.
Also, that no one's ever fucking
Just
used
get-
it.
Just if you're in a scenario where you need a kickstand, just get somebody to hold it for you, like we were doing
Yeah.
when we had fire drills
Exactly.
and we played
Yeah.
Street Fighter out in the alley.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was part of
Definitely.
my first duties when I started here. Is just hold the Switch, please.
Yeah.
Maybe use the space, use the real estate occupied by the kickstand. Put some more fucking RAM in there, right?
I'm sure that's
Maybe
a
that
one-to-one
sticks
thing.
around,
It's like
yeah.
we were gonna put more RAM in, but we read that Jeff Bakalar didn't like the kickstand, and so we decided to
Oh,
fix it for
he's
him
to
and him
blame.
alone.
Yeah.
They didn't read that. That is the thing. They definitely did not read
It
that.
did not. You do not know that they read that.
There's no way they read that because it never happened. And also, it was a video.
Right.
But
Well,
yeah,
now
the
it's an
OLED's
article with like multiple sentences about the
Awesome.
quality of the Switch
At least
OLED
there's no
kickstand.
fucking-
It
at
was
least
like,
there's a
wow.
clear breadcrumb trail there, right?
Yeah.
It's a fucking byline.
Yeah.
My God, this is the gift that keeps on giving, friends.
Yes. But the new Switch, it's. Let me tell you, folks, it is definitely a Switch. Screen's just a skosh bigger. The speakers are much bigger than they were on the original one. Like you can actually notice them here. You can maybe get some crumbs or dust stuck in there. The new OLED Switch. But the sound is
Where
really
are the
good.
speakers on the Switch? Like at the top or the
bottom?
They're
Okay.
It's like
yeah,
little
they're
two
like almost
ports.
part of the bezel.
Yeah, like here you go. It's like right
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
there. But yeah, the new OLED Switch, they're like twice the size of them, and the speakers are actually pretty good. I mean, I generally have headphones plugged into them, and now I can have Bluetooth headphones paired to them.
Yeah.
What
a world.
What a world we live in.
Damn.
The
Good guess.
the screen was really nice, and I hate that I'm considering buying it because the screen is so dang so much better, like a deep, actual nice contrast, better color display, and it's funny because Bakalar, you mentioned this when we did that video that like they kind of improved the dock, which is a weird choice because primarily you'd want to play this in handheld mode. That they maybe didn't have to spend time devoting to improving the dock, which now has an Ethernet port. The back door just pops off. No more of the swivel door.
Yeah.
Just rip it off.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
Well,
It's also heavier.
Well, that
now.
Ethernet, like they're, the people who play the Super Smash Brothers, you can find no shortage of amazing screenshots of people trying to wiggle their way out of like No, I'm on Wired in tournaments and such, in online tournaments, and now if they buy a new Switch, they will just have the ability to just plug it right in instead of.
What I don't, there's one thing that I really think they should have addressed with the dock that it doesn't seem like they did, but we'll sort of wait to pass final judgment until we see it and have it for an extended period of time. But I always felt that like inserting the Switch into the dock felt like a very icky, plastic,
it still felt
scrapey,
really
scratchy
awkward.
thing.
It still
You
felt
could
awkward.
miss the slide and like not line up the charger with the dock.
And I don't want to scratch up that screen. So, I mean, how is like the scoop, right? Not this like rubberized thing now where it just
The
sort of
taco
like
shell.
Yeah,
if you
like
will.
how do we, if you
Some
will,
felt.
delicious. Like how do you just
How does
not?
the hot dog fit in the bun?
Yeah, how do you not make that? Or maybe it's like that, like the sort of like track material for like sliding doors. It's like it almost looks like hair,
fuzzy.
like
Yeah.
fuzzy.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Simple.
give me
there's
that.
Like
Give me
there's
that.
an upper thing, and you lock it in, and then it slides it down into the dock once it's
Ooh.
connected
Yeah,
to the
Like a
battery.
self-closing
Yeah.
toilet
Yeah.
seat.
Let's add a little
Yeah.
whimper when it docks.
Yeah. It just goes, yeah. Well, doesn't have that. It doesn't have that.
I don't know how to spell that out.
Does it at least
Yeah.
play a little song like my rice cooker when it's done cooking rice?
It
Ooh.
doesn't. The OLED Switch still does not cook rice. I'm sad to inform you, y'all on. But Metroid Dread, it's pretty neat. It's pretty neat. I didn't grow up being a Metroid fan. I mentioned on the video I was really big into Mega Man instead. And then my
You could
introduction
only
into
do one of
Metroid.
two.
That's right. Either or.
Yeah, either or. And my introduction into Metroid was with the GBA games. But this, compared to those, and it's an odd comparison, I'm sorry, this fucking moves. Like you have like a slide mechanic. You have a parry that I think is from Fusion, I believe. And in the B-roll that Nintendo provided, it doesn't do the game justice in that you can just zip around in this game because one of the major components is the introduction of these portal-looking robots called Emmys that are guarding specific zones, and they have a field of like a motion sensor field that they emit, and if you're like kind of making too much noise or you're running around too much, they'll start heading in your direction, and as soon as they get line of sight on you, they're going to keep tracking you down until they either kill you or you exit the Emmy zone. But if they do catch you, you have the chance to do a parry. I was very bad at timing the parry to stun them, but with the mobility in the game and the speed of everything, and even from like how you start, which is super stripped down, you can zip around and like really evade them pretty well. And like the only times I was getting caught up is when I was being a dummy and then I got caught in like a small corridor where it was like a dead end. Or I forget in Metroid games where there are some walls or some blocks that you can destroy with your little pea shooter. I was forgetting that aspect and getting caught up that way. And I, when they showed the initial trailer for Metroid Dread and that these things would be an omnipresent force kind of tracking you down like in a Resident Evil or whatever, I was kind of off-put because in these types of games, I like exploring the environment. I like taking my time and doing that. But this added a little like tense element that I enjoyed after a while. I don't know if that was just me succumbing to Stockholm syndrome and just having to deal with it. But once you do get rid of the Emmys in their Emmy zone, you're free to explore the area again. And it does like some neat things with perspective. Like they'll jump into Samus's visor view for a little bit, or they'll play around during some boss encounters with perspective, and like you'll kind of lose direct control, but you can still fire off Samus's cannon. Like in one of the early boss fights, if you slide underneath the little scorpion skeleton guy and you time the parry well, you go into kind of like almost a quick time event where you're free to just fire off the rockets or fire off charge shots. I left wanting to play more Metroid which I'm taking as a good sign. The controls, like the air control, which is huge in a game like this, it's really good. Where you're like doing the weird spin jump thing, but you can kind of like wiggle it back and forth to like dodge everything. It felt like a Metroid game, and you know my brain is kind of broken because I played it with the analog stick versus the little D-pad, but even if you're playing like that, it was controlling well enough.
Cool.
Yeah, and then of course you're running across doors, little holes where it's like, if I could form into a little ball and throw a little bomb beneath myself, or like that door, I could probably get an ability to open it one day.
Metroid shit.
Yeah. Oh, maybe I'll come back to it.
I did like seeing how kind of seamless that 2D to 3D stuff went. I know we talked about that in the little video there, but like that stuff seems fun, especially when you have agency during those cutscenes. You said a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
that seems kind of dope. Almost like, oh, maybe give us a little more of that. Maybe there is more of that. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Like there's a specific power up you get that enables you to take down the enemies. That shifts the view to almost a 2.5D behind the shoulder thing. And it's a beam you have to charge up to take down the Emmy. And it takes so dang long to charge up that this Emmy is just like slumbering like towards you. And if they get you, that's pretty much it. And you have to like do the hold the L to aim with Samus and hit the small pinpoint head area. It's really tense. I fudged it up a bunch of times when I was playing it, but once you get it, it's pretty dang neat. They adjust a bunch of stuff with that special Omega beam cannon stream thing they give you, but that's limited uses. And it seems like it will take a while to get that per specific Emmy area. Yeah, that screen was really bright. It kind of hurt my eyes after a while, and I tried adjusting it.
Oh wow.
In the demo unit, and it wouldn't do it. It wouldn't do it.
But
that's
full on or nothing.
Yeah,
full on
that's
or
it.
nothing. And that was news to me that I couldn't adjust the brightness. But you know what we can adjust is the order we tackle these stories. Because I might toss the ball to you, Ben Pack.
Ooh.
Oh, well, I mean,
Toss it.
not a super duper busy week when it comes to news, and the fact that I just accidentally minimized my news while I was trying to find it. The big thing was the Direct, right? The Direct was kind of took up a lot of people's mental energy with certain announcements that were tied to it.
Self-care was required after the Direct, I think, for a lot of
Yeah.
people. They had to take some time and just like really...
Some high highs. They said the word ActRaiser during a Nintendo Direct, and I was just like, oh, this is not going to be negative at all for the rest of the day. I'm not going to have any weird thoughts. What did they do though for the Direct? They showed off a lot of demos, a lot of trailers for stuff that we already knew was coming, or announced stuff. I think that Chocobo GP game looks very cute. It's the
Very
like
cute.
little Chocobo kart racer.
Mhm.
Is
They
that
also
a
do-
kart racer from, what was it called? Golden Saucer? Is that the place in 7? Was that in there?
Oh,
Was
I
that,
don't know.
wondering, was that one of the? I know there was a snowboarding thing, but I can't remember.
Yeah.
Was there a Chocobo racer? Because it seems like one of those. They've never done a racing game.
PSP Chocobo racer. I think
swear
that-
there was one.
Okay.
Yeah, they
okay.
have, yeah.
Okay.
It
Then,
looks
I
very
saw some
Mario
people
Kart.
saying that the PSP one was good and that they're excited for this new one.
Cool.
According to that random Twitter user, it's going to be great. They announced a new Kirby game. Kirby continuing to rein in his rule as if a console is towards the end of its lifeline, there will be a Kirby game. Dating all the way back to the Super Nintendo. They've always kind of pushed a Kirby game out right before they stopped making it. I'm not saying the Switch is going anywhere, but that OLED's coming out, It's a good time for a Kirby game. It looks cool. It looks like the first big
It
3D
does, yeah.
open world Kirby game ever. I mean, there was that mini game in Air Ride, but that doesn't really count.
No, yeah. But yeah, this looked rad.
It looks cool.
Yeah.
Looks great.
I love Kirby. I love the Kirby franchise. The Epic Yarn game. A lot of people liked it. It was very cute. I didn't enjoy it as much just because it was a very simplified version of what I think Kirby can bring to the table. But if we're getting something kind of like Kirby Superstars, that's a little more action oriented, a little more challenging, playing with his powers and stuff, it looks cool.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I wonder how they'll get around Kirby just doing his little floating bit and just avoiding everything, whether or not that'll be limited in this.
You can float in 3D.
Well, no, but then you could just like float throughout the whole level and stuff and just get by.
Well,
it's a glide. It's you know, they can make that into a glide that you can still make it hard to get places.
Or they just put surface to air missiles everywhere.
Oh, okay.
Sure, yeah.
I was gonna say
Kirby gets blown up.
Kirby starts smoking, so his lung capacity isn't that what it used to be.
Well, it's the end of the world. He's stressed. It makes sense.
I mean, it is hinted at in Super Smash Brothers Ultimate that Kirby is the strongest life form of the Nintendo universe. So if anyone can do it, he can.
We during the direct we were asking what he would taste like. Was that what we were talking about?
Yeah, I asked.
Bubblegum, right? Pink bubblegum,
like a bubblegum scented marshmallow.
We said a stale peep.
Yeah,
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But
Jason brought that up.
Like the texture of like a steak, like you cut into it like a steak, but then it tastes like a marshmallow.
No.
Yeah.
Like a pork bun, like a soft pork bun.
Okay.
Okay.
You can't cut into it though. Like no weapon can pierce.
He's like really lovely and soft on the outside, but then you eventually get to the pork, like the Kirby meat, and it's like raw, bloody, fucking.
Yeah, you've thought a lot about this, Dan. That's upsetting.
And then it winds up eating you, because this was Kirby's whole ploy.
Well, once you're in there, you're being digested. That's the trick.
It grabs you and just starts pulling you in.
Yep.
Finally, I've been dreaming about this for decades.
Being digested by Kirby, while alive.
Amnesia, a machine for Kirby's.
Yeah.
What else we got? We got Animal Crossing, little bit of news. They're going to have a dedicated New Horizons Direct in October, but they teased that they're bringing back The Roost, which is a sort of coffee shop from older games. I have to say, I am really grateful that they're announcing actual new content for Animal Crossing. It has been far too long.
How's the island going, Ben?
It's great. I mean, it's mostly my partner at this point. They'll consult me occasionally if like there's a new villager coming or somebody moving out, and we'll sit down and just run the course with them every once in a while. But all the major events have been the same as the ones from last year. Like the fall stuff is the same, the summer stuff was the same. Like they added swimming and here and like little tiny
Joe Biden
updates.
come back around.
Joe Biden's island, unfortunately, is a desolate disaster covered in weeds and unfulfilled promises. But I'm looking forward to seeing what Nintendo's going to be adding. That game has a huge enough, active enough audience that I think it deserves more than it's gotten.
Okay.
Yes.
What else we got coming to the Switch, Ben?
Who likes new subscription models?
Love it. Can I pay more?
Yeah.
Yes, you can. And if you're on the existing plan, you can feel free to upgrade. They really wanted to mention that during the direct, in case you were curious.
Was there confusion that you somehow were ineligible? I don't understand.
Nintendo just wants to make it crystal clear that you can give them more money to play. And
new customers only. No existing Switch owners will be allowed to play.
Wow.
It's a weird
Dr. Mario. We'll be allowed to play Win Back
plan.
on the fucking Switch.
Yeah, so they announced N64 and Sega Genesis games are coming much in a similar manner that they did for the Super Nintendo and NES, where they're going to have a big bulk offering to begin with. Just some of the games that they showed off: Ocarina of Time, Mario 64. A lot of the classics. They did the same thing with Super Nintendo, Star Fox, Mario Tennis. They also announced that they are bringing in multiplayer for select games at least, so that'll be cool.
We'll
play
see
some Mario Tennis with your friends. Yeah, I mean, we will see. They didn't announce price, right?
No,
for this.
They did not.
Well, I mean, it's what is it? Isn't it something absurd like $11?
It is like $4 a month.
Yeah,
I believe it. It's like 20 for a year or 25, 30.
Oh, for the base subscription, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like a family plan also if you want multiple.
Yeah. So you imagine like it goes from $4 a month to $8 a month max, right? Or like, hopefully.
Oh, it better not. I mean, look. This sucks. This just sucks. I feel like the offering of old games that they have done so far as part of their online service has been pretty piss poor. It has not been updated often enough. They
throw in whatever the game they find under a couch laying around.
Yeah, they're like, oh, this one is free of licensing woes. We can do this one without having to do any actual work. Great, let's do it. Here's fucking Rival Turf or whatever trash that. Yeah, and so the idea that like, hey, we're gonna put more consoles on here, and then they're like, but you have to pay for it. Like, fuck no, what? Like, if anything, this was a reminder to me that I do not use any features of the online service on the Switch to begin with, and like, why am I paying for it at all? Because they're, the Tetris 99s of the world are few and far between. Those have been really nice, but that's really kind of been it. Is like, hey, Tetris 99 was good, and then they did the Mario thing, they did the Pac-Man thing, and like those are neat, but not as good as Tetris was.
They did a Kirby one.
They did a Kirby
one? Yeah.
I don't even remember that.
It was like a Kirby 3-1 boss fight thing. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I do. Yes,
but what else do they add to this tier besides like N64 and Genesis games? Like,
there was a lot of talk about Game Boy stuff. Yeah, right. Well, I don't know. The iOS Nintendo app just took an update today that just like the update notes were just like, we've corrected bugs. No, nothing specific at all. There was talk about Game Boy and Game Boy Color coming at some point. I think some of that had been data mined out of a firmware update or what. But so you have some people speculating that stuff will still come and that stuff will be free and this is the stuff they want to charge for or whatever. But yeah, I feel like their efforts here have been pretty weak, and the idea of paying extra for literally win back is on the. I mean, granted, the other N64 games they're showing are bangers.
Hey, Operation Win Back invented the cover system.
Bangers.
I dare you.
I mean, yeah. Look.
So they're to blame for the fact that I have to crouch behind knee-high walls all the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a disaster on the back.
Also, I think almost, if not all of those Genesis games are in the Mega Drive collection that I already own on Switch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Or Sonic's Ultimate Genesis collection.
Yeah.
Or, like
the
Genesis
one of the
Mini.
Yeah. Yeah. So it seems like, oh wow, cool. I get to play Golden Axe and, Streets of Rage on something else.
Right. And an extra slap across the face if you're in the States. They're selling controllers for this stuff.
Yeah.
Like they've done in the past. I actually bought one of their Super Nintendo controllers. I don't know why. They just were. They were in stock, and they were not in stock often. And I should better get one. And so I have a sealed one of those around here somewhere that I'm probably never going to.
So you want to you're saying you don't necessarily want to give Nintendo $50 for a new N64 controller.
Yeah, it'll be a Bluetooth. It's a Bluetooth N64 controller, though, right? I mean, that's a big deal.
Well, the Switch loves Bluetooth now. They always have, actually.
Yeah, ask anyone. They love Bluetooth. But if you are in the U.S., they are going to sell the 3-button original Genesis controller. People in Japan get the actually good 6-button controller, which is not the first time that I feel like that has happened. I think with that the standalone Genesis Mini console they did, I think they did the exact same thing there. None of these games that they have shown so far require 6 buttons, so it's maybe not the biggest deal in the world. Mm-hmm. But still, that 6-button controller is much better and has a lot more versatility. And so you look at that and go like, does this mean that they're not going to bring any 6-button games out in the U.S. because they're not going to sell the 6-button controller here?
I think they mentioned something where it's like, did they ever do a fix where like you hold a button and then the other buttons become the buttons?
2 of them, right? A and B.
I think they mentioned something during the thing that like Americans will have access to the same fix used for
if their fingers can bend.
Yeah.
So Street Fighter for the Genesis, if you were playing it on a 3-button controller, you pushed start to toggle between punches and kicks.
Oh wow.
I remember being
terrible.
very confused playing Street Fighter on a different platform after
It
that.
was awful.
But Ben, that's not the last stuff to come out of the Nintendo Direct. We talked about ActRaiser.
We talked about ActRaiser, which was a totally cool stealth announcement, which I love. They do those during Directs quite frequently, which is a cool aspect of the Directs. I feel like the other, like Sony and Microsoft, don't really drop like, and you can play it right now too much. They showed off Splatoon 3 for the first time. Which looks cool. They had they talked about the thing that caught my eye was new weapon systems, and they showed this kind of like grappling hook thing, and then they showed a guy with like kind of a mobile little turret that he was rolling around shooting guys in. I like Splatoon. I'll play it. I'll honestly play it for the story mode. Like I like those games as single player experiences just fine.
Splatoon's good. They should make more of that. That looked good.
I'm down for that. They also finally showed Bayonetta 3. It's a thing.
Yeah.
It's still a thing.
Certainly
She's
is.
back.
Good.
She made a kaiju out of her hair. I don't know if you guys caught that, but she just straight up summoned a Godzilla made out of hair, and then was running around while it was fighting another kaiju. So hell yeah, Bayonetta 3.
Still no concrete date on it yet. When the little teaser they had at the end, where they had a sword person slash the year,
they
made me think. Yeah, they cut the 2022. And I thought, like, it's coming out now? No? Okay, still 2022. Okay.
I don't think that's what I think it's just like, I took it to mean next year. Let's cut it in. It's happening. That's a done deal with your katana.
I took it to mean that at one point they made that trailer and it said 2021, and then they were going to have it cut to say 2022, and then, or there was some kind of date surprise that they went like, oh wait, we can't. We can't do that.
But we kept the slice animation.
Animation because we already paid for it.
For shiggles, yeah.
They announced the Castlevania 2D collection, right?
Yes.
I didn't write that one down, but that was rumored, I think, right?
Yes.
Yeah, ratings boards leaked that a while ago.
Jeff Grubb is very happy about it.
We'll talk about it probably like next week or something, Jan. I know you've been touching it a little bit.
Those are great games. Some
really
of those
games.
are amazing games. But
they move much slower than I remembered.
Till you get the little speed upgrade.
Oh. Yeah. But
burying the lead here, folks. Burying the lead here.
There's just one more thing, and we have we have to talk about it. There's no way we don't talk about it. You guys already talked about it. You had live reactions.
This was the third reason when I was like, I gotta get back on.
Oh, good. I'm looking forward to that. They also did make an announcement about an announcement for the Smash, the final Smash character.
Oh, right,
that?
yeah, the final.
Which I should not go unspoken of. But yes, what we're here for.
Sans.
Goku.
They're gonna make. Well, this is already known. They're making a Mario movie, and for anyone who lives under a rock, they announced the cast.
Are you saying the final Smash Brothers character is going to be Chris Pratt as Super Mario in the Mario movie?
Fuck.
Movie Mario is the final Smash character.
They put Dragon Knight from the anime as a skin in Dota, so you can just play as the guy from the anime. But now they're going to
Dragon Knight, the Pokemon?
No.
Dragon Knight.
The Dota man, the Dragon Knight. But they're going to have a little Chris Pratt running around going like, wahoo, let's go. I'm just going to read from the Nintendo America tweet. Chris Pratt as Mario, Anya Taylor-Joy as Peach, Charlie Day as Luigi, Jack Black as Bowser, Keegan-Michael Key as Toad, Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong, Fred Armisen as Cranky Kong, Kevin Michael Richardson as Kamek, Sebastian Maniscalco as Spike, the guy with the wand, the blue
shoots
robe.
PlayStations at you.
Yeah, he shoots the shapes. Yeah.
And surprise cameos from Charles Martinet.
He's going to be an out-of-work actor.
He's going to be Mario's dad.
He's going to be a bomb or something. He's going to be a thwomp, and he's going to go thwomp. And you're going to be like, that's not even from the game. Why did you do that?
Like he'll be Wario, right? Up. I mean, like...
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he'll be Wario, for sure. That's it. The only... everyone has had their own fan castings and stuff. The only thing that I think that people are losing focus on is the line where they say, Chris Pratt, I'm paraphrasing here, Chris Pratt is going to be Mario, and he's going to do a lot of talking in this movie. It's such a specific thing to say, but it opens the door for a lot more questions.
Yeah. Also, they also said he's a cool guy.
Yes.
I don't know. He's not a cool
I've
guy.
got questions there.
Yeah.
He's a cool
They
guy.
said-
His brother's a nerd.
They said that they said there's going to do a lot of talking. I missed that part. I think it was the ringing in my ears.
Just the shock. Yeah. They were like, before you ask, like, we're getting him to read some lines as Mario.
So that's actually my thoughts on this originally were like, this is totally fine because Mario should only say about 2 words.
Mm-hmm.
It should
be like,
He
it's a me,
can't
let's
speak that
go.
much.
Sure, you want Chris Pratt to be above the line on a poster and get him to say it's a me? Like, sure, I get
He's
it.
gonna look
Fine.
at the camera and go, let's go. And
Yeah, it's like Chris Pratt sucks, but like, sure, just they'll have like 2 lines of dialogue. But if they're like, oh, he's gonna talk a lot, like I don't want Mario speaking in full sentences.
Right. I think this pretty much confirms something that was a big question about the Sonic movie before it got announced, was like, is Mario going to be the main character of the movie, or is it going to be Mario as viewed through like the lens of a child or a teen, right? Like how Sonic is kind of through the lens of a sheriff.
An Olive Garden enthusiast.
Relatable. Yeah. That's, yeah.
Sheriff guy.
I also think, and again, like there does need to be a tiny bit of the benefit of the doubt, not because we can all agree that we feel certain ways about certain actors, right? But like we still have no idea what the thing is, right? Like there's no real it's like if you tried to understand what the Lego movie was going to be before they did it, fucking Chris Pratt again, but like I don't know, I thought that movie was pretty damn great.
Who's writing this one? Because that one had
I'm
like
just
people
saying,
behind it
yes,
who were like, "Oh,
sure.
no, but,
Had a pedigree,
it's
right?
weird they're
Like, you're-
making a Lego movie, but like the showrunners and screenwriters on this one know what the fuck they're doing."
Yeah, I mean, again, I haven't really like kicked the tires on
I mean,
that.
there's even examples with like Detective Pikachu and the Sonic movie of like people are making honest shots at making video game movies that have.
It's actually had a pretty good
interesting
track
take on
record
things.
lately. Yeah.
And this is going to be made by the Illumination folks, right? The Minion people. For as much as a bad rap as the Minions get, like
No, that
Despicable
I'm not
Me is,
gonna.
like, it's a fun movie. Like I enjoy.
Okay.
it.
You're on your own
It's
there.
literally getting
Yeah.
the Minions
Bye.
treatment because the writer of the movie wrote Minions: The Rise of Gru.
Okay.
He also wrote apparently the Lego movie too.
I just really like that the 2 listed writers for the Super Mario Brothers movie are this guy Matthew Fogel, who we're talking about, and Shigeru Miyamoto.
Sure.
Well, yeah, I will say the second Lego movie nowhere near as good as the first one, but
Do you think that this is a Jumanji type situation?
No.
A lot of people, like, as you're talking about trying to figure out, like,
well,
what is the nature of this movie? Does it start out live action and they get sucked into a video game?
Absolutely,
it could
no
be
way.
a thing. Like what? I mean, but we don't know. It could be anything.
Yeah.
I
I
think
think
that's
it's
the- well,
it's
maybe I'm
purely
just-
digital.
Yeah. Okay.
Well,
I think
like,
it'd be weird.
but the Lego
mean,
movies, they were mixed. You know, they had
they were like
live action
95%
scenes. Yeah.
animated. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm saying, like, this is like in the first reel, fucking they get sucked into a video game and they're playing Mario, and whoops, I spilled Mountain Dew Code Red on my Switch, and then it zapped, and then me and Jack Black were hanging out, and now suddenly now he's the bad guy in this world.
I hope not. I think that I'd like to see something new, but at the same time, whatever I think they're going to do is probably going to be worse than that.
The thing also that I've been thinking of and ruminating on is, like, when they showed the original design of Sonic in the Sonic movie, the huge backlash against it was tremendous enough for them to go back to the drawing board and redesign Sonic.
Put the buttholes back in.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. But I don't think Nintendo or Illumination may cave to any type of public outcry as soon as we see whatever is like the first trailer.
You're talking
or
about
whatever.
recasting. I mean,
Well, recasting
right?
or like
That's
switching
different
stuff
than
up.
changing Sonic's
And also,
appearance.
yeah, like.
Or like
you
they
have
make
to
him
now
do a
factor
different
that
voice.
COVID is still going to I think one of the reasons also that it's going to be purely animated is like it's just much more of a disaster to get humans together to film stuff, or has been. I assume they've done a lot of voice acting already.
It's
doing
not so
it.
hard anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel
everyone's
like-
working in LA and have been for a year. Like they're all just doing like
Crazy
daily COVID
testing.
tests. Yeah,
Yeah.
like all
Every
my friends who
every
are working
every
in there.
production has a COVID unit now.
Yeah.
like you'll see in credits now. There's just a COVID unit.
It's look at Nintendo. Like this is, we all know this is going to be the most straight-laced fucking thing ever. It's Nintendo. They don't mess with their brand. They're not going to mess with like the entire cast of Mario. Like they're building their theme parks. They're making big budget movies. They're trying to get a whole new generation of people into Mario. Like it's just gonna be a boring, straight-laced Mario.
Yes.
And I,
I mean,
think
they
it
got
makes
Chris
sense
Pratt.
for them
That
to
tells you
go
everything.
get names. I think it makes sense for them to just go, like I think the people who were like, I can't believe they're having Charles Martinet as a surprise cameo is even worse than just not having him at all. It's like, no,
Smirching
look,
his name.
like honestly, do you want to hear 90 minutes of hey, it's me? Like, fuck no. Like that would be a
Stories in those
billion
games are
times
trash.
worse. Like
Stories
you
in
were-
all Mario games are trash.
Oh,
There's never been a good story
it's
in a
just-
Mario game.
No, of course not. It's
So
like
why the fuck does anyone care?
Bowser hashed upon a new. It's like an episode of fucking Mask, the cartoon. Like, what's Venom up to this week? They took over this. We got to go get him. But it's just like, we got the princess again. What happened? We got the princess
think-
again. You got to come get her.
Paper Mario may be okay, but yes.
Yeah. Well,
Maybe
Mario
that's
RPG.
the move. Maybe that's the movie. Is like, oh, it's just been such a fucking terrible story for 35 years over.
Oh,
and
they'll
over.
totally do like a.
Well,
When are
yeah,
we
there's
get a
going to be
good
some weird
story?
meta jokes
Yeah.
in there, and it'd be like, this one's for you, gamers.
Or like,
but is there like a
maybe we shouldn't
meta?
be-
Like, do
Sorry,
we
go on.
see Mario entering the Mushroom Kingdom for the first time, as we did in the hit film Super Mario Brothers?
So he's
do you,
just like
do
a
you
regular
see?
plumber in.
Yeah,
in
do you
land?
see like the Donkey
Also,
Kong
yeah.
era? I mean, Donkey Kong is in this movie. Seth
Yeah.
Rogen of all people. Sure.
And that's the thing,
I guess.
too, is the Spike that they mentioned in the casting isn't Spike, the fun little guy who joined them for tennis that's green and throws big old balls out of his mouth. It's Spike, the foreman from a Wrecking Crew. So I think
Oh,
you
sure,
start with
right.
Mario in his like first actual canonical appearance, right? And
Nice.
then, like, he becomes obviously Mario from Mario because
Yeah,
Mhm.
like
Peach
there's
evolves
he's
all the other
he's doing
characters.
plumbing on a construction site and then gets sucked into the pipes, and then there's a turtle.
Plonk, plonk, plonk.
But is all that stuff live action?
no.
Does he come out the other end of the pipe a cartoon man?
Oh my god!
They
Yes.
might get
What if he
Jumanji,
is
yeah.
cartoon in a real world? No, that's just
Okay.
Sonic
Oh,
now,
that's
isn't
like
it?
Yeah.
Sonic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck.
It's all on the table, kids.
Well,
There's a
yeah.
there's a lot, like all the actors, almost all the actors are also comedians. So
Yeah.
it's going to be yuck yuck yuck. So
I'm
for that.
I'm interested in some of it. Like I think Jack Black. I love Jack Black.
I can't
I
wait
think
to
he
hear
can-
Bowser sing a song.
Jablinski.
Yeah.
Bowser, like he's the bad guy, but he does very much have like I'm gonna take my shirt off and sing energy.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. I mean,
He's gotten kookier for sure.
Yeah, I don't, and they're bringing Cranky Kong in. Well, so maybe that actually prevents them from doing original Donkey Kong era because Cranky Kong is just Donkey Kong.
Is Donkey Kong? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So what they're actually doing here is admitting that this takes place in the like Donkey Kong Country era of Donkey Kong, which is gross.
So that means they need.
They wouldn't mess with the canon.
Right. Yeah.
No,
I
King
mean,
K. Rool
that'll be
messes
the
around with the
post-credit
canon.
sequence. Will be like them setting the stage for the Donkey Kong Country movie.
Well, they just announced that their Nintendo Land is splitting off to a whole new. There's a whole new
Yeah.
Donkey Kong
Exactly. Mhm. There you
expansion. So there we go. Yeah.
Yeah, I chose to omit that from the stories, but if we got a couple more news stories.
Yeah. I don't know what we want to talk about here. Chakasani left Blizzard, who was in charge of overseeing Overwatch 2.
Yes. Jeff
And if you
Kaplan
put
left
that-
sometime earlier this year, right?
Jeff Kaplan was the lead designer. He left in April. So just file that one under another. What the hell is Overwatch 2 going to be?
And then Activision settled with the
FTC?
the EEOC for
Okay.
$18 million, which is not much money for Activision Blizzard, and it does not involve them admitting guilt in any of this stuff. They still have other lawsuits going, but like there's still a lot of that happening at Activision.
For what it's worth, I believe some Activision employees were interviewed about Chaco, and I don't think there were any accusations thrown against
Oh yeah, no,
him.
nothing but glowing things
Yeah.
about him upon his departure. But you understand why he might have wanted to get out of there.
I feel like I've been occasionally looking at LinkedIn here and there. And it's become like these like second and third ring connections of people who work at Blizzard, all saying like, "Today's my last day at Blizzard. Got new stuff lined up. Very excited."
Wow.
So one gets the impression that anyone who can go is strongly considering going.
They were kind of like that even before all this stuff broke too.
Exactly.
Like there was a lot of people leaving Blizzard prior to the news.
So that seems like that's only accelerated. Yeah.
Skipping a couple of these. Sega shut down the Ikebukuro, the giant red iconic arcade, probably one of the most visually distinctive arcades ever.
Bummer.
There were video of them shutting it down, and just the streets literally shoulder to shoulder, packed from one end of the other, of people just coming out to pay their respects to it, which is really cool.
Yeah, that was an awesome arcade. I have not been there in a very, very long time. But, yep, there's a lot of great Club Segas around there, around Tokyo. There were a lot of fun to go to, and that one was, I believe, the biggest. Sad. I think that's got to be, a lot of that's got to be just like weathering the storm of COVID and just going like, the real estate is what it is, and it's just not where our money's made anymore. We've got RTS games to make. That's Sega. So yeah.
Yeah, and I don't think any of the rest of this news is important.
Really? None of it?
Yeah.
None of it?
Not one thing.
This Perfect Dark thing is
It's kind of wild.
It's crazy. So what is this? This is the Initiative, which is the studio that Microsoft set up to work on a new Perfect Dark game. Tweeted out something saying like, "Hey, we're working with Crystal Dynamics on Perfect Dark." And then there was a follow-up to the image that said, "The teams couldn't pass up a chance to work together. We're still early in development, but incredibly excited to use this unique opportunity to deliver on the vision for Perfect Dark." This is kind of like the first thing that they've said about Perfect Dark, I want to say, since like late last year when they first announced it. Maybe there's like one brief video that, was just like, "Hey, we're building a team." But like that studio is very much like they're building a studio to build a game. So, it's not something that was very far along. I think the part of this that's weird is that this is not work that Crystal Dynamics usually does, and not usually work that Square would have Crystal D do. And so it's led to a lot of people going like, well, does this mean that Microsoft's going to end up buying Crystal Dynamics? Which I could see that someday. But also, does this mean, how does this tie into, boy, the Avengers sure didn't hit the way they had hoped, and now they are working as a support studio on Perfect Dark instead of this studio that led the Tomb Raider reboot and all this other stuff. It's just kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's weird because I feel like Square have always worked with a distributed studio system. Like I'm sure Crystal Dynamics had tons of support on the Tomb Raider stuff. I know IO Interactive had that's pretty common to have. Like there's lots of studios you may have heard of or never heard of in Europe and London and England that like do a lot of support work like this. And obviously so I guess the issue is that you're not used to seeing Crystal Dynamics in that role, perhaps.
Right. Yeah.
But like also like, you know, Guerrilla supported you know, Death Stranding. You know, like it's not that weird.
You're right. I feel like the Guerrilla thing was weird because that was like they were starting up a studio and didn't have an engine, and they ended up going with Guerrilla's engine, and then of course they're going to have support people that know how that engine works. But yeah, you're right. I mean, there's definitely like we live in a world where a billion different studios touch every video game. It's just it seems weird for Crystal Dynamics to suddenly very visibly become one of those. Also, for a totally different publisher from, you know, it's not like Crystal Dynamics is like an independent studio that is just like, well, sometimes we publish our own stuff and sometimes we support on other stuff because that pays the bills and then we get to do this other stuff like so many other studios are doing. Like this is like a Square owned studio being like, and Square being like, yeah, go help on that. That's where the money is because it ain't in Avengers. Like
speaking about Avengers.
Yeah, speaking of Avengers, it's coming to Game Pass.
wow.
This week.
Hitting Thursday of this week.
Yeah.
Played a few hours of that the other day. Got lost.
The Black Panther stuff, or
I'm still trying to go through the base campaign.
Oh God,
that base campaign was fun for what it was. I mean, the story at least was engaging, even if the action wasn't always awesome. So you know, like that coming to Game Pass, like that seems like a good opportunity to play that campaign and then maybe stop. But also, I guess I haven't checked back in on the new story stuff that they have done. But the stuff that they had last time I checked in on it was not worth coming back for. So, yeah.
Two quick things before we head off to our final break. Battlefield's beta is announced, hitting October 8th. I know they delayed the game, but kind of excited to check that beta out. And
Friday week.
Friday. Oh God.
Friday week. Week
Friday.
from Friday.
And last little bit, Owen Hart is going to be in a video game, which is pretty neat. Owen Hart, the wrestler, heading to the upcoming AEW video game. The Hart family.
Weird.
It's weird because, you know, Owen Hart doesn't have any history with AEW.
Yeah.
But his family's had a lot of trouble with the WWE and how, you know, his accidental death and whatnot. And it's neat to see Owen Hart's legacy being continued on, and with the family supporting it for what seems like for the most part.
Right, and it sounds like that they're trying to build something. You know, like there's the statement that AEW put out, I guess, is this is about like a nonprofit charity, the Owen Hart Foundation, and some of that other stuff. And I guess there's a Legends roster here. Is that
cool?
Is that maybe the? I'd have to look that up. I thought I saw that when I was reading about this earlier, that there was maybe more of a larger roster around that stuff.
When is that coming out, or is there any? It's a ways away, or
it's a ways off. I think they said it would be next year, but Ukes has been on it for a while. They just showed a little bit more of it not that long ago, and it looked better than it did the last handful of times they've shown it. But it's also so early. It's still hard to get They spend a lot of time talking about those N64 wrestling games every time they bring it up. They spend a lot of time talking about those, and not a lot of time talking about what they are doing separately from that. But yeah, Owen Hart has been, you know, he showed up in those Legends of Wrestling games that Acclaim did that were like unlicensed, like who are the wrestlers we can get to show up in this, and who are the estates we can work with. And, you know, Andre the Giant was in it, and Ultimate Warrior was on it when he was not friendly with the WWE. Hulk Hogan was in a couple of those too for the same reasons. And so it's been 04 was the last time he was in a game. So
jeez.
Wow.
But this makes me think that they should just do a full-on Legends roster, because now they have enough people even there. Like they should put like a Arn Anderson classic and a Tully Blanchard classic in there.
Yeah, you could have
on that
modern
roster.
Sting, Surfer Sting.
Yeah. There's just a lot of stuff they could do. You know, Jake Roberts. You know, like the amount of talent on that roster combined with the estates they could probably go work with, or you know, living actual legends. That might be a neat thing to do, but it's weird because AEW doesn't have a direct connection to a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
But
is there a baked-in Bombcast rule since I left now that has like upped the limit of how much wrestling talk you guys can do? Is like Danny allowing this more wrestling talk?
I don't give a shit. No, I'm fine.
Yeah.
This is things have fallen apart around here.
This is all like, so it's a bank system where every minute we
Okay.
do this, when Danny eventually gets some F1 talk, we just haven't.
It's not 1-to-1.
Okay.
It's like 100.
Yeah, it's not.
Oh no.
No,
It's like
the
credit card
exchange rate
points,
is very
you know?
much
Yeah.
not in your favor. Yes,
Yeah.
that is
Yeah.
correct.
Dollars
yeah.
to euros, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, while we go figure out that cryptocurrency regarding banking minutes and hours into F1 and
That's
wrestling,
what it is.
let's make some space to back up a dump truck. Why don't we? And we'll see y'all after this break. Now, Ben, I know it's been a while.
It's been a while.
It happens.
It's been a while.
It's been a while.
Jeez.
But I
Um,
can still remember just the way you taste, man.
It's been. Oh.
Well, I was gonna ask
Those
if you
are
knew
the
how
lyrics,
to if you
huh?
knew how to drive yet, if you were certified to drive anything.
2 different questions.
Okay, well, do you know how to drive, and can you
Yes.
drive something?
Again, I can drive anything if I got the keys, baby.
Okay.
Legally, are you
this is-
allowed to?
Okay. Now is where we're entering where I have been advised not to self-incriminate. So
This is a softball. This is a lob, Ben, to introduce the next segment.
what, emails?
No. I asked about driving, and then you made a thing specifically about a
You're
vehicle.
driving the conversation to emails.
No, it's a
Voicemail
dump.
dump
It's
trick.
a dump truck. It's a dump truck.
Voicemail dump trick.
I'm just gonna go.
What?
Voicemail dump
This
trick.
is all new and exciting for me. Wow.
Coming through.
What?
Voicemail dump trick.
Dump trick.
Oh,
What's a
Danny just
dump
did
trick?
like a 360.
Wow.
Yes, that was. You got some sick moves, Danny.
Thanks, man.
What's a
We're
dump-
working on that
What's a dump trick?
It's where you put your voicemails.
Your Vismills. Okay,
Vismails.
cool.
Yeah, I mean, we got the voicemail line back open. We got some emails. In case you are a brand new listener, Jeff and I would host the after show, which you would call in and leave your voicemails. It had a very specific number. Jan, if you could just hit this first recording and kick us off, kind of intro the whole
I'm
thing.
gonna get a taste for this.
Yeah, I hope this works.
Wait, is this shit actually real? What the fuck is wrong with you guys?
And that number you can call is 707 exit flu.
Wait, so that okay?
Great.
So, okay, that's the
Yes.
is that the general tone of what this is, or
So it could be. I mean, Jeff, you can help out here, but it's a wide range of topics.
Yeah,
that the voicemails can encompass.
Is it-
Yes.
okay.
When you call 707 exit flu, you never quite know what you're going to say. Some people have prepared a lot. Some people have prepared 0, and that doesn't
Got it.
necessarily say the quality is going to be one way or the other. Sometimes the people that clearly didn't prepare have the best things to say, whereas sometimes the people that read you a paragraph they've written down are
Lands flat. I
not
get it.
good.
We definitely like them to be on the shorter side. You know, like I feel like 10 to 15 seconds is a sweet spot. Usually, if you find
Yeah.
yourself rambling, and we encourage callback. Sometimes we'll get somebody to be like, "Hey, you know what? Fuck this. I'm just going to take it from the top," and they hang up and they do it again, and it's way better.
Oh,
Totally
so
fine.
they can't like hit a button and like re-record. They gotta call back.
They might be able to, but I think it's more dramatic if you slam the phone and
Yeah.
be like,
It probably, yeah.
Stupid,
All right.
stupid.
I just have to do this. Okay.
And then just to kind of get us back in that comfort zone, Jan, if you want to get that second one ready, this will be music to longtime listeners' ears.
Let me just jack the volume up on this bad boy just a skosh.
Okay.
Hi, this is Nathan from Tumwater, Washington. What countries have you been to?
Oh, thanks.
Wow. Okay.
Nathan, all-time question asker, short
Yeah.
to the point, introduces himself. He's in, he's out.
Quality.
Great question. Who doesn't have
What
an answer to
countries have
that
you guys
question?
been to? I've only been to America.
Nate. Wait, what?
I've,
Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
Never been to Lithuania?
I would love to go to Lithuania.
Let's go to Mexico,
the
Ben.
cuisine is delightful. Yeah.
Let's go to Mexico.
I really want to go to New
DJ, right
Zealand.
now, let's go.
New Zealand high on my list. Who here do we think has visited the most countries?
Danny.
I think it's also Danny, but I think
I feel like by
Jan's a strong
default.
No, surprisingly,
Right.
no.
No?
I just like for you guys, it's hard to get out of your country, whereas for me, I'm on an island. It's probably the hardest for me within the continent I'm in, but it's ridiculously easy. And usually, if you're going to one country, you kind of accidentally pass through a number of them on the way. So, yeah, maybe
That's
I've
like
not
us with
traveled
states.
outside of Europe. Yeah, exactly. Same as states.
I just wrote out what I think I've been to, and it's.
And are we counting this as like you spent a night there, like you slept in that country? Is that like
Yeah.
our
Yeah, you
definition?
spend a day in France.
Airports
don't
don't count.
If you don't spend a night in France, did you really spend a day in France?
I don't know. I mean, maybe. I guess I've never been to France then.
That's our new T-shirt.
Cross it off the list.
Now it's 9 countries.
I had a layover in Denver once. Does that count? Was it?
All right. So I've only been to the USA. Jeff Gerstmann, how many countries? Have you
I have been to Japan and I have been to the United Kingdom. And
All right.
I went to Rome once. Yeah.
Oh, molto bene.
Yeah. That's a country,
Jan,
right? Rome?
looks like you're still counting. Jeff
No.
McEllar.
I think I'm just shocked about it's only, besides America, it's only 2 other countries.
And it's
Copenhagen, or I guess Denmark and the Philippines.
Denmark, yeah.
yeah.
I almost went to China, and I had to like fast track my visa, and to get there, only for my boss at the time, to tell me 2 days before the trip, you're gonna stay here. So
Oh man,
that was cool.
We got this cool visa now.
I
I've
got to
been
20 and stopped counting, so I don't know.
20? Wow, good for you.
Woof.
Collecting
Mostly
stamps.
Europe.
Mr. Worldwide over here.
Mostly Europe, Japan, Russia, French Polynesia.
that's where
is
I
maybe the
wanna
most remote
go.
one.
Okay.
What's that? Which is the most remote one?
Like French Polynesia, probably. Russia feels pretty remote, and it's a long flight. I only went to Moscow,
Sure.
but it's pretty far. And then just Europe is just like fucking. I've been everywhere, and not everywhere, but like it's.
Yeah, but it's all
there's a lot
Europe,
of countries.
Europe is just like a subway system. You just get on a train, you show up, and you're in fucking another country.
Yeah.
Like it's super easy.
crazy.
I've been to Canada, Mexico, Netherlands, England, Belgium, France, Italy, Dominican Republic, Haiti, Aruba, Bahamas.
Come on, pretty
I like to go to
well.
You're
Ireland.
just singing Kokomo now. Come on.
I miss you,
What
Ben.
else? What else? I took France off the list, right? France doesn't count. Just
Nope.
spent
Never
a day
been
Why
there.
does France not count? Because you never left
'Cause I
Charles de
didn't
Gaulle.
sleep there. No, I was. It was like we stopped on Eurail on the Eurail and just like didn't
Interrail?
sleep there. Yeah. Yeah. Did I say Netherlands?
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah.
You did now.
I think that might be it.
All right.
Okay.
Those are the countries.
There you
Jan,
go.
you wanna go to emails? What do you want to throw in an email?
Okay, sure. Let's play this music too then.
Buzz, 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 buzz. That's right. It's B-mails.
It's not emails. It's not emails.
It's fair. This isn't B-mails because Ben didn't pick these B-mails. I picked them, so
Look, Jan, as co-executive producers of BV and email-related media for the Giant Bombcast, we have to be on the same page about this stuff.
Maybe
this is
It's the only way I would come back was with that title, by the way.
Yes. So actually, that brings up an interesting first B-mail from Blurston from God knows where they're from. The subject reading, "Where do I send D-mails?" And the body of the email, talking about peens.
What?
Right here, baby.
Well, it's a little foreshadowing to the last voicemail we have queued up, but you can send him as a voicemail too.
All right. Well, let's go to Ben. Do you have the doc in front of you?
I do.
Do you see what I've highlighted here?
I
Oh my
do.
God.
I don't know what
What
this
has
is.
happened to
I
this
don't know
podcast?
what this is. Do you want me to
I
read
gotta
this?
go.
Did you guys talk at all before this, or no? Or you
No,
just,
not at
We
all.
talked a lot before this.
Dave from Best Place in the World. Ben, if you could read this email.
Oh my God. How do you read this?
Not really. What
Ben,
is
Ben,
that?
Ben, parentheses, Jan, parentheses, Dan, parentheses, Jeff, 1F, parentheses, Joss, parentheses, Roar, Ben, 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 Ben,
So many
Ben,
Bens.
Ben, 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 Ben,
Okay,
Ben.
Ben, I think you
Dave.
start adding your own Bens.
No, I counted along with my mouse cursor, sir. I would
Okay.
not. You asked me to read an email. I am reading every word of that email for you.
Okay, Nick from Boston writes.
That's it.
Hi, Duders.
You just wanted me to read that, and we're not going to spend 30 seconds on what just happened?
A few weeks ago, the Jeffs were discussing how middle-aged people with expendable income were driving up the arcade and pinball machine market. As a middle-aged person with expendable income, I've been interested in getting a machine and looking at local eBay postings and Craigslist. All I can seem to find are MAME cabs, arcade one-up cabs, and literal garbage. They say see photo, but they did not attach a photo, I think.
Smart.
Is there somewhere else I should be looking, or is this just the current state of the market? Thanks, Nick from Boston.
Ben.
I think that there's I think eBay is not going to be you're going to want to try to find someone who owns a machine and just ask, where'd you get that, and then trace it back until you find someone who's got like a storage container buried in their backyard full of cabinets that are that they need to get rid of. Like it's
not the price of arcade one-up cabinets that are skyrocketing. It's the price of like boutique stuff and people who've buying like secondhand NBA Jam cabinets and pinball machines. These are like the marketplaces on like popular forums for this stuff. That's the market we're talking about.
And before I got that cabinet off Jeff, at least look, it's going to depend obviously like place to place. So like no shit, I was able to find them on Craigslist in the Bay Area, but there was a decent amount. Like they were there. So to me, it seems like it's more of that thing, because like no one's going to sell you an arcade cabinet on eBay because the postage, like that whole part of it is just going to be.
It's freight.
Complex.
You're paying freight, and it's like the shipping. I bought one of my stupid Touchmaster things off eBay, and that was heavy enough that it had to be shipped freight.
Right.
And it sucked. It made that thing go from this is a slightly irresponsible purchase to what the fuck have I just done in price.
What's like a general like price range for something like a Street Fighter cabinet? Or like a Mortal Kombat machine, or does the game specific
6K?
Oh shit!
No, I don't think it's going to be that much. You shouldn't pay $5,000 for a Mortal Kombat cabinet.
I think if you buy like I was looking at a TMNT cabinet the other day, and
that's
was
like
in that range.
like.
But where were you looking? So that's the thing. That's where it comes back to just like. Are you looking locally? Are you looking on eBay? Because eBay pricing for that stuff is always out of whack.
So if you look at like some of the local game resellers, like in local, I say like within 200 miles of where you live, because that is basically local. You can find things that they've like reconditioned or refurbished or whatever the situation is, and
you're paying a premium for that stuff, though, right? Like
those are not cheap, especially if they've been like completely restored.
The ones I was finding on Craigslist were like
$3,000 to $4,000.
Yeah, no, I was seeing stuff way closer to like anywhere from like under $1,000 up to like $2,500. There was like stuff you might need to do a bit of work on, or they've messed up side paneling or something like that. Like if you're getting them from people who know what they're selling, I'm sure they like try and milk it as much as they can. But there's just a lot of like someone on the chat mentioned Facebook groups, like Facebook Marketplace stuff. Like there are just like people who are trying to get rid of these things. Like I remember when I was staying with Dan at Thanksgiving. Oh no, was it Thanksgiving? No, it was a different time. I stayed with Dan. He sold his cabinet out of his dad's place, and he had like a window of like 4 days where he needed to get rid of it, his Mortal Kombat machine. So he just sold it for whatever, you know what I mean? So if you're not like needing to get one right now, I think you can just kind of skulk on Craigslist until something catches your eye. But my budget wasn't like, I wasn't going to spend over $2,000 on something, you know what I mean? Like, but I was seeing stuff that I could have gotten,
Yeah, now I'm poking around Craigslist for a few different areas, just seeing like what's what. But yeah, it's a lot of people with like really hacky, like hacked together cabinets and just real weird shit out there. And so it's like here's a bar top, like they converted a bar. There's just a bunch of ugly shit out there.
I keep going back to that that fucking pinball auction that's like kind of still going on.
There was more of that last weekend, and it was
the prices of those games are just fucking bananas.
Yeah, this person was in Boston, so I'm gonna try and look for something in the Boston area.
Is that like would it be wise to maybe try and hit up a bowling alley if they're willing to part with some stuff, or like an old pizza joint maybe?
Yeah, I think there's something like that. Or you could find like, does that pizza place own their own machines, or do they have a guy who comes in and owns all the machines, and he just circuits them around? Yeah, the 9 locations he runs or something. Like, I got the movie theater over here, I got 4 machines there, I got 3 in this bowling alley, I got 2 in this laundromat. Like, there are probably still people that are in that line of work, and they're gonna know.
They call it like routing them, right?
Yeah, like operators, just independent operators, just routing them around.
There's a working refurbished Street Fighter 2 CE cabinet here in Monterey for $800.
Cool.
So
that's what I'm saying. Like, you shouldn't pay multiple thousands of dollars for a Mortal Kombat cabinet unless it's in like absolute pristine shape and you just have money to burn. But I feel like it's the sort of thing that if you're willing to keep looking, you will have hopefully. But also stuff's just getting weirder as time goes on because everything is going up in price and everything's getting strange. Like, okay, here's someone in someone in Hartford selling some kind of. This looks like it's got a Street Fighter Alpha 1 marquee in it, so it may actually have originally been some kind of Street Fighter Alpha cabinet at some point, but they have gutted it and probably put a PC in there or a fucking Raspberry Pi. God.
Yeah.
But they want $1,400 for it.
And most of the time, like these arcade cabinets, you still have to like get it home yourself, right? Like none of them are offering to help you with it. It's all like nothing is built into the price.
It's come get this out of my. It's why you want to usually end up trying to find something local, because the freight costs. Like a lot of places, like a lot of the stuff will be like local only for the sellers because they don't want to crate it up and ship it. They don't want to hassle with it. They're just like, come get this thing out of my living room. What the hell was I thinking? There's a lot of stuff like that.
Please take this. I just found exactly one of these. It actually looks like your garage, Jeff. It's an Arctic Thunder, so that's the jet ski thing, right? Yeah, like so it's a full jet ski. Yeah, it's in like Milpitas, so like down by San Jose. It's like $400. Take this off my hands. It's in like 2 pieces.
Oh, it's in Milpitas actually.
Yeah.
That's
$400. Ben, I'll help you if I can. Just...
$495. Sorry, $495.
I would do it for Hydro Thunder, not Arctic.
Okay.
I bet you could buy a Hydro Thunder board and put it in there.
Oh.
The controls are probably just similar enough, right?
That's the one you want to get, though, right? You want to get. That's how you end up with like a whole house full of shitty arcade game.
Yes.
Like just the
Once you
world's
start
worst
buying
arcade.
like impossibly dedicated cabinets that you can't easily convert into anything else, and you're like, this Arctic Thunder is Arctic ass Thunder forever. It's not like I can put fucking Street Fighter 2 in this thing. Yeah, it's
Do a
not
fireball, goddammit!
Yeah.
Sean from Pennsylvania with a
Wait. Hey,
yes. What?
My turn.
Well, I was gonna. this is for you. This is an email directed towards you.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
That's right.
Madhouse.
Go ahead.
It's a
Go ahead.
madhouse.
All right,
What
Sean
if I
from
told you I was
Pennsylvania.
going to play a voicemail for you, Jan? How would you feel? You got Gift of the Magi now. I bet you feel bad.
Hey Ben, please rank these from best to worst. And your choices, Ben, are Card Captor Sakura, Sonic Advance 2 on the GBA, 1 dozen Krispy Kreme glazed box of donuts. I'm just going to assume that's 1 dozen, not a dozen boxes. And then Robert Eggers the Vitch. And then Missed You So Much, Sean from Pennsylvania.
You put Vitch above Sonic. You basically take this list and move Sonic bottom.
Okay.
I think this is right. I think it goes Card Captor Sakura is number 1. I used to have the whole UPN version of the theme song memorized. Then followed by 1 dozen Krispy Kreme glazed box donuts. Then The Witch. Then Sonic Advance 2 on GBA.
Okay. All right.
Easy. Easy peasy.
Someone in
Uh,
Saratoga is
okay.
selling a Steam Link for $20.
Might want that.
Hit me with voicemail number 5.
Voicemail number
2 more of
5.
these total.
Wow, is Lou Bega here?
Oh, I
Yes.
need to
The
get
Hat Man
that
and the
real
Scat
quick.
Man are both here.
Ray Lubega.
That one for some reason didn't pop up into this, but
How
I
about-
got it. No, I got it.
number 6?
I got it.
Okay.
All right. This is voicemail number 5.
Hey guys, my question is, do you have a specific pump that you go to when you're filling up your car?
Oh.
And does it make you unrationally angry when someone else is using it? For people who don't drive, do you have a favorite transit seat that you always sit in? And do you get irrationally angry about when people are in that seat? Okay, thanks, bye.
Bye.
Love their energy.
Yeah.
Powerful energy. Yeah.
I can't finish
Amazing
if I'm not
stuff.
in
I
my
hope
seat.
you weren't driving.
Oh.
It's gross.
Thank you for the voicemail.
No.
So you guys, car drivers,
no,
got a pump?
I get
Golden
the
pump?
one that's furthest away. I mean, I think like post-pandemic, this has changed a lot, maybe. But like, for me, no. I want to be as far away from other human beings as possible, and that has not changed. That is a constant.
I've always wanted to be. I'm old school with that. I always wanted to be as far away from people as possible. Don't forget, in New Jersey, you don't pump your own gas.
Oh.
Do you have a guy that you keep an eye out for? Like, that's the good gas guy. Let's
So
pull
the
in.
the cool thing about not pumping your own gas, aside from not freezing your ass off in the winter, is you get to know you have like a regular guy.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
Like
we
your
got
barber.
a regular guy. Yeah. Well, it's a real short interaction you're having with this guy, but he's
It's like
always
a
got a
checker from your
lollipop.
local store that you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's got a lollipop for the kid. Says, "How you doing? How are you?" We know his name.
Really?
He's a cool
lollipop?
He's a cool dude. What's that?
Oh, if you
got
know
a
him.
lollipop?
Yeah, he's got like a bowl of dum-dums, like the barbershop does, right?
Okay.
That bowl of dum-dums. Alternate title for this podcast. Am I right, folks?
Mm-hmm.
Bam.
Huh?
Anyway, it's
to
great.
be back.
It's nice. Washes your windows. It's beautiful.
What a time. I have a specific gas stations I like to go to because I don't know if this is a problem at all, Jeep Wrangler owners, but there are some that just they want to click off the minute like something gets triggered and I put in a dribble of petrol and it just goes, nope, you're done, and then charges my card and I'm like, you piece of shit. I'm never going. So I have like I'm just terrified of like any new gas station that it's going to do that to me.
Oh, that's weird.
Also, I know like 50% of people already know this, but just for the few of you who don't, you know that to remember which side of your car the gas tank is on, there's that little triangle icon beside.
I think I listened to a podcast of like the history of that as well.
Oh, really? That'd be I'd love to know.
It was like
that was a lifesaver. My wife told me that a couple of years ago, and it was like a lifesaver.
Game changer.
Yeah.
Specifically on Samtrans buses, when I used to ride the bus all the time, I would sit at the pair of seats right behind the rear exit. Loved it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's a good one. You have quick access to a rear exit, which is always handy.
Yeah, and you could pretend to be cool as a high schooler and like swing off the pole and then just exit out of the bus.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. You got another one you want me to play, Ben?
Yeah. How much? One or two total more.
All right.
Go right to the end, or
yeah. Let's play 6 and then let's play 14.
Yeah.
All right, and I got one B-mail in between that.
Sure, sounds good.
All right.
A B-mail is an email? Is that the thing?
No,
Playing,
Jeff, no. It's a
playing
B-mail. It's different.
Playing this voicemail.
Mom and Dad just stopped arguing.
Yeah,
boys!
What is the worst food that would be made into like an edible? So just what the food that you do not want to eat and then get high an hour and a half later.
Good
soup.
Thanks, bye.
That's a great question.
I also thought soup. I thought like a bread bowl of chowder.
Yeah, or like fish, some kind of fish.
Okay.
I'd love to get high and have fish. That sounds fucking awesome.
No.
Especially still as
the
a
fish
skeleton.
gets you high. It's not.
Right, you're not high when you're
knowledge,
eating it.
baby. Yeah.
It sounds like
It's
something
like,
Action Bronson would cook up.
Like a flounder.
Yeah, I got this fish. It's lovely.
Tilapia that like has fucking 10 milligrams. No, you don't want that.
Khalees has like a weed cooking show on Netflix where they get pretty fancy with it. Someone had pressed like a marijuana leaf into a tortilla, and that looked pretty cool. That I would eat.
You don't. But that's not the weed you want to eat.
Well, yeah, but that's like the
I would eat a
decadent
weed
fancy
burrito.
schmancy.
Like
Yeah,
a
but I
weed
mean,
bean and
like-
cheese burrito for sure.
Well, I guess edibles also have to be kind of like almost manufactured. They can't be like a fucking egg.
It can't be like an egg.
Yeah.
But like if we could talk
Hard-boiled egg.
hypothetical
I mean,
here,
but
like
what if you just got like a carton of egg whites and then you took like, I don't know, some kind of liquid THC and just dumped it in there and then went and scrambled some eggs.
That's
right.
so fucking. It's just so weird. Yeah.
No, babe, you get like a carton, but you only do it to one of them, and you just have to have your week, and you're not sure what day, what morning you have like scrambled
They're
eggs.
like Russian roulette.
I've had a
with
very
fucking-
similar
no.
conversation where you just take one edible or 5 edibles, put them in a bag of gummy bears, and just shake it around.
Oh man,
And then you just you take 2 gummy bears a day and just see what happens.
you could taste it though. You're like,
Well, like you specifically
Yeah.
get like a brand you don't
weed
often
flavored.
get.
Oh, okay.
There was this show, I don't think it's still on anymore. I went looking for it recently, but like Coffee TV20 in the Bay
Oh man,
had like
I
this
hate
late
that
night show about like weed news. And this was when it was still illegal.
Weed.
And so it was just like these people at a news desk trying to keep it together, like just very like it wasn't deliberately comedy, but it was fucking hilarious because they're like trying to like it's the way when the same way Be Real would like to talk to you about normal and how it should be and how everything should be legal and all this other stuff. Like they had that vibe to them of just like, oh, I'm the stoner who read some books about this and now I have some things to say. And so they'd have like that
Real
segment
from Cypress Hill.
Yes, it was not actually legit. Like it's not actually Be Real. I'm saying Be Real had
Okay.
that same vibe about him at
Right.
but they had a cooking segment and they had a guy on and he was just, dressed up like, I mean, presumably he's a legit chef. He's a shoot chef. But because everything was still illegal at the time, or you had to get a card or whatever at the time. So like he would be preparing these meals, and it was usually involved butter because that was usually what you were mixing.
Hell yeah.
But he would always say medicine. He was like, and then you mix your medicine into the butter. And then you put the butter on and make these cookies or do this, or you're making like a beef stroganoff that gets you. But it was like sometimes the dishes were things that like you're talking about that you're just like, who would do this? But it's like they're putting like a can of butter
Caesar
over the
salad.
top of it. Yeah, it's definitely like stuff like that. But like it always like we would watch it all the time, and I don't even partake. I'm not interested. But like just the hearing this guy go out of his way to really stop and hit your medicine in the most like fucking don't arrest me, bro way possible.
You probably got yelled at for saying weed like too many times.
Yeah,
They're
totally.
Like, dude,
I'm
you
sure.
can't
Like,
say you're putting weed in this on TV.
But they would occasionally say can of butter or something like that. But it was like it was very much a.
Can you say can of butter like how he said medicine?
You got a can of butter and
Very
spread that
soothing.
over the top, and it was a hell of a show. It was just like it was like here's like 3 stories about weed legalization efforts, and then one little story about like the cannabis cup happened and this weed was the best, and shit like that, and then the cooking segment and much reggae was played.
Hell yeah.
Hell of a show. I can't remember what it was called, but it was some late night Saturday night TV 20 ash.
Yeah.
I looked over at chat and I just see in all caps baked potato. Bravo.
Oh, that's
Nice.
good. That's strong. Yeah. Put the
One
butter on
last
yourself.
B-mail before voicemail number 14. Drew from Louisville, Kentucky. This is a little quiz for y'all. Bombcast. I recently partook in a bit of debaucherous achievements hunting when I played through Rush, a Disney adventure. The game itself was rather one note, but what impressed me the most was the inclusion of many of the original voice actors in the game. Below is a list of characters along with the people that play them in the movies. Your job is to say got 'em if they are in the game, or not 'em if they are voiced by a sound-alike. Gentlemen, are you ready?
So, got him if it's a real celebrity.
If it's the
voice.
actual, like, from the movie voicing in the game.
Got it.
Okay. I'm going to trust that none of y'all are looking at this doc either. 1. Larry the Cable Guy as Mater from Cars.
Got him.
Got him.
Got him.
Yeah, they got him.
Got him.
Nice.
Number 2. Tom
He's
Hanks as Woody from Toy Story.
Got him.
No.
Got him.
Not.
It's got to be his brother, right?
Yes, Ben Pack.
Right.
Not him.
Brother?
His
Voiced
brother
by
does all of his
does
like
all this.
TV, video game, commercial voices. It's
Jim Hanks.
Oh.
Why don't they get his son? Why don't
That's
they get
for the
Chet to do
Jamaican
this?
version.
Yeah, I wanted to get Chet Hanks.
How has Chet Hanks come up on 2 podcasts in a row?
Because he's having a moment right now, and it's
White Boy Summer.
No,
has
he's
ended.
not.
Like,
White
what-
Boy
what
Summer
is-
ended months ago.
no,
He
it's
does
for the
the pop-
worst reasons.
Yeah. No, that's,
Okay. Ellen DeGeneres as Dory from Finding Nemo.
Got him.
Got him.
Got him, and it was a nightmare.
Got him. Rough time.
No.
Got him.
Oh.
Ed Asner as Carl from Up.
Got him.
Not him.
No.
Got him.
Oh, wow.
That's a get. Nice
Yeah,
work.
that's a big get.
Good
R.I.P. to
R.I.P..
Ed Asner.
Yeah.
Patton Oswalt as Remy the Rat from Ratatouille.
Got him.
Got him. I feel like
Yeah,
he's in
got
other
him.
games.
No.
I feel like he's approachable.
He was busy
Get
that
him
week. He
for
was busy
video
that
game.
month and couldn't make the shoot, and so someone else did it.
Got him.
Oh.
Yeah.
He was like, "Well, Dana Gould did a game. I guess I."
Dana Gould didn't do a game. Please don't dismiss the Gex trilogy with such nonchalance.
I'm sorry.
Last
All
one.
100 of the Gex.
Last one. Tim Allen as Buzz Lightyear from Toy Story.
Not him.
No,
Got him.
Nope.
not him.
You all are correct. Not him. Voiced instead by Mike McRae. Also, we got a bonus question for once again. The game is Rush, a Disney adventure. Is Nolan North a voice in this game?
Yes.
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 Backlog.
I'm just gonna say no.
He is indeed in this game because, according to Drew,
'Cause
he's
he's
in
in
everything. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
of
Nolan
course.
North.
Thanks.
They can't ship it. until he's in there.
Yeah. Thanks, Drew from Louisville.
I was trying to figure out what Rush is. It's just the non-Kinect version of Kinect Rush.
Oh. Is it like the Disneyland experience thing?
No, not that one, because I'm playing that one with my daughter at the moment, actually. But it's a different one. It's another Kinect Disney thing.
I just keep seeing the dog from Mega Man. I can't figure out what Rush is.
They got their SEO.
San Francisco Rush, I think.
Yeah. Oh, okay. All right. I gotta play some of this Cruisin' Blast. I haven't really liked any cruising games since the first one, but it seems like see what Eugene Jarvis has been up to.
And Ben, am I clear to play this last? This last voicemail.
I just want to say this last voicemail is not safe for work. So heads up on that.
Got
we do
it.
appreciate the energy of it. I don't think you know what? I laughed, so we'll let the voicemail speak for itself.
Oh,
Cool.
okie dokie.
But it's a little crass.
Okay. All right, playing it.
Okay.
There's too many men and penis havers peeing in video games. I've never seen a woman / non-penis haver pee in a game. That's a lie, actually. Horizon Zero Dawn, I've seen the big pee. Never mind. Good night.
Wait a minute.
What the fuck?
I mean, that's called a mid voicemail epiphany right there.
Yeah.
Wait, who the fuck pissed in
Epiphany.
Horizon Zero Dawn? What?
Did
don't
Aloy
know.
squat down at some point?
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't
must have-
remember.
is this-
I don't remember that piss scene.
All right, I'm
Look, a search on YouTube.
doing it. Aloy
Horizon-
peeing.
Search on a different
Scene.
tube. A different
Yeah.
tube.
Yeah.
No, you're not going to
Yeah,
get the right
it's true, too.
result.
Open up incognito and get that piss search going. This is what you got to do there.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Could
Yeah,
fool me.
not really a question. I mean, like they were going to ask a question, but then they had that revelation, so there's not really a question for us in that one. Just a fun observation, maybe we'll call it.
It's helpful.
While
It's
Danny
helpful.
deeply searches for this PP scene.
I found a
Danny's eyes
bad
are getting
YouTube video
smaller.
that has. Jan, can you play a brief YouTube video that?
Oh dear.
Regrettably so, yes.
I
Oh
don't-
dear.
This isn't. It only has 300, close to 400 views, and it's.
Oh, no.
The
It's
title
one of
of
those.
The title of this video is Aloy needs a pee, and then in parentheses, funny.
Oh, boy.
No.
All right.
No.
Have you watched this
His
already?
word for it.
No.
Yeah,
We
it
just
took
going
only
in
like
blind
30
on this?
seconds, So yeah, Jan, I just posted
It's
it.
going to
in
be like a
Slack.
YouTube poop.
Okay.
Oh, I
I
wish.
hope so.
That'd
God,
be
I
fun,
hope so.
but-
Oh,
All
thank
right.
God
And
I'm
I'm
not in
scared.
Oh, to route sound to you, I
Scared.
need to do some funny business. Hold on real quick.
Scared right here is what's happening.
People
This is-
pee a lot.
Well, it's
People
great
pee,
to-
penis havers pee, you know? If you've lived in a
Everyone
major
Yeah.
pees, as far as I'm aware.
And most,
Seen
like,
some-
I think the simplicity of it is most video game protagonists are male, and therefore one leads to the
Yeah,
other.
sure. Yeah. But
Still,
it
do
doesn't
you
always
have
have
to
to be a
show-
protagonist that's peeing. It could be anybody.
Yeah.
Okay,
like in
here we go.
Deathloop, there's that.
All right,
Ooh,
here we
this
go.
says a
Postal
lot
2
of
is the best
views.
pee.
Full screen, full screen, full screen.
Tons of views.
I don't like this.
Now, see,
I don't
this
like
is
where
funny,
going.
right?
No, hold on, wait for
No.
it.
Hold on.
Hold on.
Oh, go-
The
oh,
joke is
Oh, no.
landing.
where
Yeah, right? You know what I mean?
Okay.
the fuck am I watching?
This is. I'm so
Is
scared.
somebody- Have a
I'm
mic
very
on and they're
scared.
just blowing into their...
Yeah, what? What?
How many views does that video have?
Like 300, dude.
389.
Yeah.
389.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't feel so bad.
That's
Cool.
That's the
that's as
content
close
right
as I
there.
could get to finding peeing, to finding Aloy peeing.
Voicemail, please call back and tell us where you saw that happen.
Yeah, I wonder if
Yeah.
they're actually playing a game, like an actual video game, or was it one of those "you won't last 30 seconds in this game" video games?
All right. Well, you can send lovely voicemails like the ones we've listened to today. Ben, what's the number?
707 exit flu.
And if you want to send
we did that before, we called it. We noticed that before COVID. We've been saying that for a long time.
Yes.
Please don't get mad.
Sorry.
Yes.
You guys were cool before the pandemic.
And if you want to send your emails, B-mails, don't send your D-mails, J-mails. It's still up in the air. Bombcast@giantbomb.com. Jeff, I hope you get some sleep, sir. Some well-earned sleep.
Yeah, it's been I'll kind of playing it by ear for a little bit here, depending on how things go. But like it's been a little bit more sleep than I anticipated. Though of course last night was a nightmare. So we'll see how it all goes.
All right,
Take the good with the bad.
Fingers crossed for you, sir.
Yeah. In the meantime, I want to play Deathloop, but like I'm so wiped out, tired. And I have to have like baby monitors, and I have to be able to hear crying and all this other stuff, so I can't wear headphones. And so I played like 20 minutes of it the other night and felt like I was doing the game a disservice because I was just like falling asleep, running to checkpoints, and just doing a thing. And I'm like, whatever, all right, yeah, kick this guy off the cliff, fucking, all right, fine. And so I think I'm gonna have to wait, and I'm worried that by the time I get around to that game, no one will be playing it anymore, and I'll never be able to do the invasion stuff. Someone on Discord last night was saying that there were like 5-minute wait times on PlayStation.
Oh, really?
To join to invade a game, which like if it's a linear game and no one's going to go back and replay it, then that experience probably is not going to be something that's viable forever until it comes out on another platform. Yeah, exactly.
You should give Sable a go. That might be like good, easy going kind of.
No, you should give Tales of Arise a try.
Yeah. I put 400 hours into Cookie Clicker, and
oh, nice, okay.
And I've just like legit like staring at it for a lot of that time too, which is stupid. But that's my speed right now. But that and Monkey Ball,
fantastic.
Yeah.
Mr. Backlar, Mr. Dwyer, thank you for joining me, and most importantly, Benjamin Pack. Always glad to have you, my friend. Loved having the dump truck got brought back. You got to start the engine once in a while before the battery might die. So we got some B-mails in, and how do you feel about it?
Again, I cannot.
We had some B-mails. How do you feel? How do you feel about maybe popping on next week, huh?
Yeah, I'll be here for a little bit. I'll be around helping out for a little while. Yeah.
All right. I tried looking up an inspirational quote, but instead I remembered a former boss of mine gave to me as a welcome gift a motivational rap CD that he made.
Maybe that's what you wanted.
Maybe we'll play that. Maybe we'll play that on a UPF sometime.
That'd be great. Have me back for that.
But yeah,
what a nightmare.
Yeah. Nice guy. But they always say choose wisely, and that's why we were chosen. Thank you for tuning into the Giant Bombcast. We'll catch you all later. Bye.